What's happening, everyone? Before this next leg of podcast show starts, this is a reminder to you not to be a minge bag. Go over to Patreon, sign up for £1 a week and take advantage of all the Patreon perks. It is the Patreon that pays. We have a betting show on a Saturday, which the postman here is picking winners every single week.
Yeah, the betting show comes out Saturday mornings, covers UFC and boxing, footy when we're in the footy season. But yeah, we're winning on a weekly basis. I can't remember the last week we didn't find some sort of winner. So yeah, as Andy says, don't be a minge bag, come and get involved. And as I say, it's one of the best communities that you could be a part of, isn't it?
It's a belter. As well as the betting show on a Wednesday, me and Jord have a chat. That's where you might have seen on our Insta Reels about crocs, about harpooning people at the end of the night, all that kind of chat that goes on. And even better, every single Wednesday we do a raffle draw, and our sponsors Montrex give £100 gift voucher away just for being on Patreon. No better time to join. There's 30 plus episodes already that you can go back and watch. Again, no better time. Get involved. Don't be a minge bag. £1 a week, and we'll see you there.
Right, welcome back to the Leggy Podcast. It's me, Jordan Neild.
It's me, Andy Grant, and this week's guest is Shem Rock.
Jeez, what's happening, lads?
What's happening, lads? You all right?
Yeah, sound.
First off, massive shout out to Montrex, our sponsors. Once again, you get 15% off if you type in Leggy at checkout, and also if you support us on Patreon for just £1 a week. Every single week we do a raffle, and you get £100 Montrex gift voucher just for being a Patreon, Leggy Legends, and supporting the podcast. So get involved in that. If you want to get onto their clothing, you get Leggy 20, gives you 20% off, and also Health Kit Kitchen.
Yeah.
I've been supplying our scrans for the Sportscast show on a Friday, so get on them too. All the links are in the bio. And just before we start as well, you'll notice this is the first time in a while we've done a guest, because we've been focusing on the Patreon, where I can just talk shite to me mate, which I've quite enjoyed. But we are going to get the guests going again, and to be honest, Joel, I can't think of a better, more interesting guest than the one we've got in now. So Shem, thanks for your time, lad.
Yeah, man, sound happy to be here.
Yeah. No, alright, it's a story I've like sort of looked at from afar, so I'm buzzing to like ask you the actual questions that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you look at someone and you build a picture, don't you? Like you know somebody.
Yeah.
But like just basically off what people write, or you know what the podcast you've been on or whatever. So I think it'll go. This will be a good one, to be honest.
Southender, Tocky, aren't you?
Yeah.
What was it? I'm from Bootle, so do the ends. So what was like growing up for you? How old are you now?
I'm 28.
28.
Yeah,
so a little bit older than me. I'm 34.
Younger.
Yeah, a little bit younger, sorry. Talk about growing up then, lad.
Yeah, early on, man and dad living together. Spent most of my time fucking round family, and then at some point, my man and dad split up. So when my man and dad split up, we all went with my ma.
Mm-hmm.
So we went from like, even though we were from LA, my dad done well in that, so we were living in nice houses, we had nice cars, I went to private school and that. Yeah.
What private school?
Lad, I was going to some school called, what was it called now?
No private schools in Bootle, lad.
Yeah, it was far, like, it was, where was it? It was like in Neston or somewhere, mad.
Yeah.
So my dad's driving me there every day. And when you're a kid, you don't know no difference. So I'm just coming back to LA and then going out with me mates and that, and they're all like, "What school do you go to? Why'd you wear?" Because I used to wear like a little flat cap and a tie and that and a blazer. And the other kids are like, "Why'd you dress like a nonce?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? Everyone does."
Just imagine, I don't know, we're going to skip that, but just imagine if you make it, lad, you might be the only UFC like champ to go to private school.
Imagine.
It's a selling point, that.
Private school boy.
Yeah. That was something that I'd not even heard. I hadn't seen you say that before.
Yeah,
but what was that like then? Obviously, as a kid, as you say, you're quite naive to the fact that, you know, you're just going to school, aren't you? Your dad's just dropping you at school. But it must have been like a sort of a clash of two worlds, really.
So,
do you know what I mean?
My dad is a big hench black guy with loads of tattoos all over his body, and he's dropping me off in fucking Aldi TT, pulling up, blazing rap music, and then the other kids are like, their dads would be like 60 years of age, do you know what I mean? Our men and that, businessmen, and the others used to look at us and just be like, what the fuck? What's happened to this school? And then I didn't know no difference. I was just a little twat as a kid, so I like teachers would be like, do your work. I'd be running around the class jumping off the curtains and that. So I think like I didn't really fit in there, but when it comes to like doing my work, I've always been quite academic. I was quite smart. I just always get in trouble like at lunchtime and that, playtime and.
Did you get on with the kids in the school? Like, I'm imagining Not stereotypical, but I'm imagining a different type of kids that are from
Yeah.
It's a culture clash, innit?
It was mostly loads of white kids, to be honest, but there was like a few kids who like the parents were like, there was a Brazilian kid in my class. So when I was young, I went to school in Portugal as well. I lived in Portugal for a bit. My little brother was born in Portugal, so I could speak Portuguese, and because he was Brazilian, I'd like, because it's a bit different, Portuguese and but we'd like speak to each other and change words and that. But I weren't there for that long, because then my mum and dad ended up splitting up, and then my mum's a single parent. Now we're living on a council estate, and fucking my ma's on the dole, raising 3 kids on her own. We ain't going to private school no more, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I went to public school. My ma ended up taking us over the water. I lived over the water for a bit.
Turn this all wool for a bit, lad.
Yeah. And then I was just getting into shit every day and that, so my ma took us to London. And then I did most of my school, like most of my secondary school was just in London. So yeah, I was living in Tottenham and Camden, but mostly Tottenham. London was rough, like we stayed in loads of hostels. I went to some grimy schools. Like the school I went to, when I first attended the school had like a full revamp, because one of the students stabbed a teacher. So they changed all the school name, changed the uniform, got rid of all the teachers, but kept all the same students. So nothing changed, you know what I mean? It was one of them schools, when you come to the gate, there's police there and a metal detector. So it was rough. Like, kids used to run round the back of the school and put the knives under the fence, go through the metal detector, and then go and get the blades and that.
Jeez, mate, you've had like just in like 5 minutes, you've had a lot of life experience for like a young lad. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know obviously your family sort of, that had to happen because of your family situation, but did you realise that at the time, like that what you were doing, because normal's probably not the right word, but it's not standard, is it, to be moving here, and then it's all right, I'm from a council estate myself, moving from one road to the next, so to speak, but you're going from Liverpool over the water then to the opposite end of the country. Did you realise at the time that it was, or did you just go with the flow sort of thing?
Growing up, we always moved house a lot, even when I was with my dad and that. Like, he was doing what he was doing, so he was a bit palo, so we'd always be moving houses. We moved abroad loads. I've lived in Adam with him. I've lived in Portugal with him. So we were always getting about. There was even like a bit where he was on the run. That's why we were in Amsterdam. So when you're a kid, you don't know. You just think, oh yeah, I'm with my family. We're moving to a new house. We're staying in a hotel. We're here with it. So
it's a big adventure, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Like that naivety that kids have. I think we said it on the podcast before. I'm like, it kills me that you lose that. Do you know what I mean? Because as a kid, like, as you say, I know, so, things that involve maybe crime or whatever, but it is just an adventure, innit? As a kid, you're just like,
But at the same time, if you never lost that naivety, people will take advantage of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in this world.
Yeah.
So you kind of need to lose it at some stage.
Yeah. I think that essentially is growing up in a sentence, isn't it? Once you start to understand that, like, things aren't all rosy, things aren't, it's not
things
summer.
aren't always what they seem.
Yeah, it's not summer every day, do you know what I mean? It's just... So what part did you sort of, when you were growing up, sort of adolescent year, was that all in London?
I'd say I moved to London. I done year 7 on the Wirral, and then moved to London halfway through, or like near the end of year 7, and then I did most of me like secondary school years in London. Yeah.
Was the idea to always come back?
So even though I was living in London, like, I never liked the school. I was the only Scouser. Then it's like, I'm mixed race, so it was like the school was like segregated. Like, the Albanians over there, then the Turkish and Kurdish were kind of over there, the Somalians, then the blacks, then the Caribbean lads were over there, then the white boys were over there. So my first day in the school, I've been raised as black. My mum's always told me, you're black, we're a black family. So I've come on the AstroTurf to the lads, like, what's happening, boys? Yes. And they're like, what are you doing on here, white boy? The white boys are over there. Do you know what I mean? One of them with the blade on me my first day on school, lad. And I thought, like, wow, this school's mad. But I was a cheeky kid, so I was like, what, fuck you little rat. And we're giving it back to them. They chased me off the Astro. And then you go with the white boys, and the white boys are like, what are you on about, mate? Nah. So it was a bit mad. I ended up chilling with these Caribbean kids who were like, they were kind of fresh, but they were like from a good family. So they didn't want to hang around with the rough kids, so I was just with them. And I thought, like, a lot of the time they were speaking Patois, and I can't speak patois, I can only speak English.
What's that, sorry?
It's like the Jamaican language, because these were Jamaicans, even though I'm from Barbados, it's similar. So I could understand it, but I couldn't speak it. So I'd be speaking in English and they'd be speaking in patois, and I'd be like, come on boy, speak English. And they'd be like, what man, do you know what I mean, giving it to me and that. But just school just weren't for me, lad. I just thought I was going to this shit school, I didn't like it. I was already up to no good anyway, and I just thought, fuck this, so I just stopped going. And I was just selling bits of weed and that. I used to get like 9s of weed, half bars of weed in London. I'd go and bunk the Virgin train, lock myself in the toilet
for 2 hours.
Sellotape the buttons so no one could come in, even when they had the key. Then I'd fucking get off Lime Street and just sprint past the guards, bro. And I'd stay in Liverpool until my weed was gone, and then I'd get the train back and go back to London. And my ma, like, obviously, my ma's thinking, where the fuck's her son? I'm only 12, 13, 14. And my mum would be like, where are you? And I'd be like, I'm just in my mates. And then a week into it, she'd be ringing me like, my mate's just seen you, you're on Lodgy, you're chatting shit. And I'd be like, wait me.
Deny till you die.
Yeah.
To be fair, like, that's such like, as you said before, something only a Scouser could, someone with like Scouse blood could do that. It's like the sellotape thing, do you know what I mean? Everyone else would go like, just trying to sit by the window or something and pretend you're a kid or something like that. I'm asleep, mate.
In the end, all the ticket men used to be like, what's happening, Shem? You know, like, lad? I'd be like, yeah. They'd be like, don't be getting on the... I'm just seeing me mates off, my mates going up. And then I'd wait till the doors closed, get on the last one and lock myself in the toilet again.
I love everyone's bringing back home suitcases and bags and shit. He's got a load of weed and sellotape. Going home.
But yeah, I'd done that for a good 2-3 years or something, and then my mum just said, like, it's not on, we'll just end up going back to Liverpool, it'd be better. So then my mum moved back to Liverpool. We moved to Rock Ferry, that was over the water as well. We were living in Rock Ferry, and then when I come back, it was like I didn't want to make me mum sad anymore, type of thing. Like, I thought I was a bit older now, I'm maybe 15, 16, and my mum was like, what are you doing, lad? You're getting the door kicked off by police, you're up to no good, blah blah blah. She was like, what are you going to do when you're older and that? Do you want to be like, and you know what I mean? Yeah. So I thought, no, I'm going to put my head down. So I went back to school, and I was going to school in Pensby Boys School. It was an all boys school, and because I'd been off school for so long, they put me back a year. So I was going to school, and lad, it was a bit mad. I felt like, I don't know how to explain it, I felt like an adult just going to school with kids.
You had life experience.
Yeah, because I'd had real life experience, and then I'm going to school and all these kids are like, let's play tag. And I'm like, mate, you're fucking 15, what are you on about? Do you know what I mean? I was coming to school whiffing joints on the yard and that, and the kids are like,
you're mad, you.
What are you doing? And I'd just be like, what? Do you want half? But I was genuinely keeping my head down though, like, even though I was still on the weed and that, I weren't like, I weren't grafting or nothing. I was just going to school, doing the work, then come like lunchtime and that, just keeping myself to myself, maybe playing footy or having a few joints. I used to go to the chess club and that and try and like play chess with the other kids, I swear. And I was doing my best to like keep my head down. I wanted to make my mum happy and that, because my mum was fucking on my case. She didn't want me to be like my dad or be like the other.
Are you still seeing like your dad and like the lads from the pool and that eye, or have you not really seen them? Like,
I speak to my dad, I'm close to my dad, like, but there was a point where it was just me mum and me 3 brothers, me 2 brothers. When we were living in London, my older brother didn't like it. It was rough on him, like, he was older than me, do you know what I mean? Like the area where we were living in, Seven Sisters, people were getting stabbed every day. It was like, you weren't going out your door past 7. We used to come out every single day, and there'd be like just a group of smackheads outside our house, because we had the corner house with the biggest garden. So they'd just be chilling in your garden, injecting up and that. So me and him would have to be going out every day and just do smackheads in and that. And we'd be like, what? And then when you're in Liverpool, you sold the dream that London's the best place to be. And we were just like, lad, we've been scammed here, bro.
Do you know what, lad, you say it like, and you said before that you were quite academically clever, and I can tell already because of the way you like present stories and stuff. And you do say it in a comedic way, but that's like such a like a harsh way of seeing reality. Do you know what I mean? And say you go back to school and you feel like a man, but like mentally you probably are. Do you know what I mean at that point? Because I know, like as you say, you do say in a comedic way, and it is funny now, but doing stuff like that's not something somebody that young should be seeing or doing, isn't it?
It's funny now because it's in the past, but at the time, it's like sad, isn't it? To think like, you know, a few young lads are out there, you know, not from where out the kind of area they grew up in, down in London, having to do that in their own front garden. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was mad. Like, so then at some point, my dad came back to Liverpool because my dad was abroad. My dad's since the divorce, he went abroad. That's why we never really seen him. He come back for his ma's funeral, and then he took all us to the funeral. And then after the funeral, he gave us a choice. He was like, "You can stay with your mum, or you can come abroad and live with me." And my mum's the type of mum that had let us make our own choice. She wouldn't be like, "No, you're not." So she was like, "Do you just want to go with him, or do you just want to stay?" And honestly, I was going to pick to go with my dad, because my dad's living in the big houses, the fucking abroad, on holiday life, nice cars, and I'm living in a fucking shithole in London, lad, going from hostel to hostel in schools that I don't even want to go to. And my dad's like, "Look, don't worry, you'll have a good little job and put you on whatever." So I'm like, yeah. But my brother was like, "I'm going." So I thought, if my brother goes and I go, then I'm going to leave my young little brother to grow up in London on his own with my ma, and my ma will be heartbroken that both of her sons have left her. So I was just like, "Nah, go on then, you go, I'll stay." So I stayed with my mum and he went with my dad. And then obviously we've come back to Liverpool. Well, I'm living on the Wirral at that point. I was going to school, keeping my head down, and then it was like, there was me. So my mum, I don't know if you've watched my Instagram story before, my mum's like, she grows all her own plants and that, all the food she makes, she grows the fruit and veg herself. So my mum's always been into like eating healthy, a good quality of life. So me, when I was growing up, like I wanted to go and learn horticulture, so I could be like, grow my own food, have me even now, that's still one of my dreams when I retire from MMA.
You've got an Insta thing, haven't you? It's like your scrum, is it?
Yeah. When I retire from MMA, maybe in the future to get a bit of dough, and I do want to have my own land and live off the land, fucking your house with solar panel, like that's one of my dreams, to have my own farm and that. I don't think a lot of the food we're being fed is real food, but that's another story. So I started to go to this school that it was in Nantwich. It was like a college for horticulture. So I popped up there, lad, first day. It's like 2.5 hours travel. They provide buses for you to get there and that. So I'm going to this school in Nantwich, lad, and it was mad. It was like a major culture shock. Like, I'm showing up in trackies and everyone else is showing up in suits, or like farmers in flat caps and fucking... Jesus. Yeah. And I'm like, what? I'm showing up thinking I'm going to be one of the lads, and I just weren't. It was just like a different vibe. I'm like, "What's happening, boys? You all right?" And they're like, "He's a bit weird, him." So I didn't really know anyone, lad. And there was this old man, and he was on the course. He was about 60. So I'm like, "What's happening, lad? Why are you doing this?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm on the dole, lad. The dole are making me do it." So I'm like, "Yeah, you're with me, lad. Come here." So he was like my only mate, lad. I'm chilling with this 60-year-old man, trying to speak to people my age, and they're just like, get back to the fucking hood. But lad, I was driving tractors, fucking farming, growing plants and that, lad. It was mad. It was like, bro, the only way I can describe it, it was like Hogwarts. It was a big castle, but there was no magic. You know the footy team, Crew Alexandra? Yeah. They train there, and most of the people on the course were like, they wanted to do like maintaining footy pitches or golf courses. Then there was like another side for equestrian. Then there was like ones who wanted to fucking learn how to wank bulls and collect the sperm. Lad, it was a mad gaff, bro. It was a mad gaff. So, look, I was proper keeping me head down.
This is one story that's gonna go from fucking being in a college that's wanking fucking horses and bulls off to fucking UFC, lad. It's gonna be great.
They had this bull that they bought from America for $1 million.
It's big dog.
Yeah, it was mad. And lad, when you see it,
just for the jizz of the
bull. There's a Netflix thing about it, isn't it? Lad, it's big money.
Lad, it just looked like this big, huge thing on steroids, big neck on it. Oh, lad, it was mad. It was mad. But anyway, so I'm coming to this school and I'm fucking travelling every day. I weren't really living with my ma at this point. I was staying in some bird's house. Still obviously close to my ma, checking by every day. My ma was still living in Rock Ferry. And lad, I weren't doing any graft. I'd fucked everything off. I was proper 2 feet in, and I was like, I'm going to be a farmer. I'm going to learn how to grow fucking crops and that. And then, lad, one day, they've been like, principals come to the class. I'm sitting in class, and they've been like, Shaquem, can you come to the office a sec? So I'm like, yeah, it's sound. I've gone to walk out the door, and as I've gone to walk out the door, lad, all these busies just jumped on me. So I'm like, what? They're making a show of me, so I've jumped up and just started going mad. Obviously, they've twisted me up. They've handcuffed me, took me. I was in custody. It was a Friday in school, so they kept me over the weekend and released me on the Monday. So I got out the police station on the Monday, all fucking scruffy, and I've gone, shit, I need to go back to college. Because I've come straight out the police station, I didn't take the normal bus that I would have took. I took a different bus. Showed up to the college, come back, sat down, I'm in class, and the teacher's looking at me like, and I'm like, what's up, sir, you alright? And he's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I go to school here, mate. What are you doing here? And he's like, I think you need to go to the office, you know. So I thought, wow, this is mad. Gone down to the office. Sit in front of the principal. I'm like, what's up? He's like, yeah, the police have told us, mate, you can't come here no more. And I'm like, the police have told you what? The police have told them that I was selling crack to their students and that I'm a drug dealer. And yeah, and at that point in my life, I'd only ever sold weed. I would, like, obviously, some of my mates done whatever they were doing, but that weren't my thing. I always thought, like, I believe in karma, and I thought, if I do that, it's going to give me family a bad name. If my mum finds out, she's not going to be happy, and I'll also feel guilty. So I've only ever really sold weed at that point. So I'm like, what? I got me mum's house raided. They were looking for stolen motorbikes. I don't even ride motorbikes, but whatever they needed to get the warrant, do you know what I mean? My mum said, like, they were fucking ripping the mattresses open and that, ripping the couches open. Like, there's no motorbikes in there, lad, do you know what I mean? They knew what they were looking for, but there was nothing in there. Because they couldn't find nothing, they took one of my pedal bikes. I had a receipt for it, fully legit, and still never got the pedal bike back to this day. And then they used that to say handling stolen goods to get a arrest warrant to come to the school and get me. They could have arrested me on the street, but I think they wanted to fuck with me, so they were like, yeah, we'll get him while he's in college. They nicked me, whatever. I come back to college, and when I've applied to the college, I had a criminal record for possession of cannabis, a 20 bag. That's the only thing I ever had on my record. And they were like, you've got a criminal record as well. So that was the little loophole to kick me out of college. So I got kicked out of college, lad, because of them fucking scumbags, the police.
What was the reason for it? What were they trying to, in the first place? You still not know now?
They were looking for motorbike parts and motorbikes.
Is that how close you were then to, like, you know, I know we'll move on to what happened soon, but is that how close you were to, like, being completely
like
away from being
yeah.
away from all that stuff? You were
that
like,
was the first time in my life from, I'd say, 11, 10 years of age that I've gone, I'm out now. It's not like I can say I'm out, I've made it, I had big money. I was on my arse, lad. But I was putting the work in. I was like, literally was getting money off the government, the fucking dole, and I'm one of them. I never signed on the dole in my life, but at that point I was getting money off the government because I was going to college, so I never had to sign on, but they were giving me money just to go to college. So I was just going to college, coming home, going to college, and that's all I was doing, lad.
Sad that, you know, like, because I know obviously, you know, we'll get onto the story and stuff, but it just frustrates me because like, if you've actually made an effort to cut yourself away from, because let's be honest, like, when sort of growing up, crime could have been put on you as an inevitability, couldn't it, in terms of like where you are, you know, people that you're seeing around you know, but if someone actually makes a conscious effort to go, I don't want to do that, I want to go and do this, something that's really niche as well, like, I know we've made a joke about it, but then one thing like that and then you're back at square one. At that point, are you just thinking, right, well,
I think the circle that I kept, because all my mates were all grafting, but that's them. My family, like loads of my family members were all grafters, so I think the police were just tarring me with the same brush and were like, yeah, fuck you, we're gonna get you. And I can't lie, when the police stopped me, I weren't stopping, I was running. Innocent, nothing on me, but that was my mentality, lad. Fuck the police, like, nah, these aren't my mates. Whenever they stop me, they're taking a phone off me, or they're taking me to the police station for 2 days, or they're strip searching me. So I was just like, and I didn't really know my rights like I do now. Now I'm a bit more clued up. Then it was like, they're stopping me there on the side of the street and they're pulling me kicks down and getting me cock out on the roadside, and they're going, yeah, he hasn't got no weed on him, send him on his way. Where now, I know you can't do that. I'm getting my phone out and I'm filming them. Do you know what I mean? Where when you're a kid, you don't know all that. You just think, oh, they're just doing their job. Well, not to me, you know. So I just used to run. So I get it why they didn't like me and that, you know what I mean? But I was genuinely trying my best to be a member of this fucking society. That's so to say. But when that happened to me, I can look back now and say that was the turning point.
I was just about to say that.
That was the point when I just went, you know what? You want me to be the bad guy? Watch. And then from then I was just doing everything. I was just like, fuck yous. And I just went all
It is sad that, like, I could understand why you'd have resentment and bitterness, because it's like George just said, then you're having a go, and then if they're putting that many obstacles in your way, I can half understand why you've just went, fuck yous then. It's not
just you though, you know, it's like it's a whole society problem, because for the people that want to get out, and it's like you're saying, you know, if the police or whoever just go, right, everyone's bad, do you know what I mean? It's such a dangerous way to look at things, because you then, you know, as you said then, how many people like you have gone, right, well, if you want me to be a criminal, then I'm going to be a criminal.
Or if there's no path for us.
Exactly, but you've tried to forge your own path, but then when you're knocked off that, and then that you're left with that conversation with yourself, well, all right, then, well, I'm going to be a criminal. How many people who've gone on to commit really, really bad crimes have done that as well, where they've gone, you know, like I did try, but then they put, and it's just a vicious circle, isn't it? And you know, as we move on, it's hard to get out of.
Yeah, I think at that point in my life I had a real chip on my shoulder as well. Like, I'd been fucked by the system. We've had social workers. Them social workers have then left us in shitty hostels and forgot about us. Then fucking school to school to school to school, to the point where they're like, we're going to take you off your mat. And I'm like, whoa, hold on a minute, these aren't on our side. So I always had like a resentment to that that part of the system. And I feel like I still do, because I see the police and go, oh, there's the police. Where I don't think normal people do that, do they?
No.
Normal people see the police and go, oh, I feel safe. I don't feel safe around the police, and I still don't to this day. If a police officer wants to speak to me, I'm saying I don't speak to police, go away. Because of what I've been through, lad. But I feel like at that point in my life now, I've gone like, okay, I'm going all out. And I've seen a real change, like the people I went to school with. Oh, look, there's John from school. What's happening, John? Oh, there's Shem. Oh, because with that life, you gain maybe a bad reputation, or people know what you're about, or they hear things, what you've done on the street. And I felt like the way I looked at myself was the way I was getting reactions from people, like the way the police treated me, the way now people who are new from the past pretend like they don't see me, or they're like, oh, I don't want to speak to him. So I started to embrace that character almost, and I started to have a bit of chip on my shoulder, and I did think like, yeah, that's just who I am now. I'm just a fucking scumbag, let's say.
You've kind of morphed into the picture that everyone else has painted.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Were you sad where you weren't like the people that maybe, you know, that did like you, or any friendships you did have, when they did kind of almost look at you in a different way? Did that make you sad, did it, or was you just
didn't care, because I was making money. When you're making money, the girls want to know, yeah. So I thought I was the lad, and with all the boys, no one wants to mess with us. We're doing our thing, so I didn't care. I just thought, yeah, they're just wolves. That's how I used to look at it. Like, he's just a pussy, and he's just not about it. We're about it. But then it's not till later on you realise, when you're down low, the people who you fought with, your mates, or maybe the girls who just wanted to be with you because you're the boy, where it all lay when you're down and out, lad. All of them disappear. But that's why now I keep a small circle, and I know who my real mates are from, who's been with me when I was in the shittest situations. But to progress the story, so at this point now I'm just doing everything. It's like I was getting arrested all the time with intent to supply charges, going to court, beating the case. I got nicked for like section 18, stabbings, going to court, the guy doesn't show up to court, walking out. So after like 15 of them, you just feel like
untouchable. Yeah,
I'm the man. No one can say nothing to me. And then you got your little circle, and they're all doing bits. People, when you go anywhere, people notice, look, there's them lads. People want to be with you. So there was a point where it was like, yeah, I want to be a gangster, and I did. I thought I did. But at the same time, it's still in the back of your head that I don't want my family to know what I'm doing, because ruin your family's name, not how your mum look at you different. When I'm on, like, being on my toes before for different things, peewits, stabbings, whatever, and then you're going to see your family, and your family like, we don't really want you here, there's articles about you going online saying that you stabbed someone, we don't want trouble coming to our house. Or So
did you have like a plan? You know, like people maybe get in, I'll make X amount of dough and then I want to get out, or was you just enjoying the life?
It was the lifestyle. I didn't care about money. I was enjoying the lifestyle, getting out with the lads and just doing mad bootings and fucking.
Do you think that's because so many people like sort of shit on you? And you like obviously
I think
from your
a little
side,
bit.
you were like, right, so I'm now gonna be that person pushing down. Do you know what I mean? Rather than getting shit pushed on me, I'm gonna push it the other way. Do you know what I mean?
I think a little bit, and I think the adrenaline and the thrill. Like, I was a drug dealer, but it weren't really. I didn't really like. It wasn't like, oh yeah. But robbing drug dealers for me was this is boss. Like running through Kens and being like, oh my god. Even the boys used to be like, we'd just do something, and then the next day I'm ringing like, I've got another one lined up here, lads. And they're like, but we've all got money now. So, let's get out tonight. And they're like, nah. So I think for me it was more like the lifestyle and the thrill.
How old are you at this point?
I think I got kicked out of that college when I'm 16, 17, so you're talking like 17, 18, 19 at this point. Still like coming into a young man. Yeah. And then I ended up being wanted for that aggravated burglary. Me cousin. So I'll go deeper into that because it's a bit of fucking off context. Me older cousin, he was doing a bit of graft himself, and he'd had a stash, and he's paying the stash whatever, and the kid who's the stash was robbing out the weed and going out and selling it on the street, and because he's only a little wool, like he's just a no one. Kids have found out, oh, he thinks he's grafting, so someone's kicked his door off and robbed him. So because he's being robbed now, he's thought, shit, I've lost their stuff, they're gonna kill me. So he went missing. So eventually, obviously, my cousins found him and fucking done him in. And when he's done him in, because he's had the key to his house, whatever, come in and done him in, the kid's gone to the police and gone in witness protection and that, and it went down as an aggravated burglary, and said my cousin had broke in and stole £80 out the house, because the police know they can't make a drug charge stick, because he's not going to beat him in and leave drugs there. He's not soft. He beat him up and then got off and took his stuff. But how can you make a charge stick? They can't just say assault, because you get a slap on the wrist, 6 months in jail. So he got nicked for the aggravated burglary, and he pled guilty from the off-go, and he got 5 years in jail for it. And this is the mad part. My cousins rang me from jail and ringing me like, lad, I'm in jail, bro, I'm being nicked for this thing. And I'm like, wow, mad. I was already wanted for stabbing someone. So at this point, I'm already about the area doing my graft every day and taking chase every day. So I'm thinking, wow, mad that. One day I'm on the back of my mate's motorbike doing what we're doing, and then police have come on us, and we took like a 6-7 hour chase. Ended up in like
6-7 hour?
Yeah. So what they'd do was they brought the chopper over us, and we'd be like, yeah, we'll just ring one of the lads to come with a petty can, and then we'll fill it up as we're riding. Lad, what they'd do was they'd bring a second chopper out and then send the first one back. So we were doing petty, filling it up, and at one point the bike just wouldn't go anymore, lad. So we just ended up jumping off the bike, going on foot, and they got us, lad.
Where was this at this point now? Fucking, where are you running around like?
I was grafting in like Rock Ferry, and then I was grafting over here in Negbeth. I had like two phones.
But with this chase though, I mean, where are you now?
The chase started in L8. We took chase all around L8, and this is my fault. We got away and we smoked them and we hid the bike, and my mate's like, let's get a taxi. And then I just went, nah, fuck this, lad, let's get back on the bike, because I had to go over the water. I was like, lad, we'll just fly through the tunnel on it, come on. And my mate's like, nah, you mad? And I'm going, lad, we smoke them every day, they're not catching us, bro. And he's like, come on then. Jump back on the bike and the chopper come out. And he's going, lad, you're a knobhead, you. It was my fault. Like, I think we ended up in Runcorn. We ended up getting nicked in Runcorn in the middle of nowhere, running through fields and that. I got caught. My mate ended up going on for an extra 3 hours on foot, and then he caught it. He had like a mad standoff in this tunnel where all trains were coming. So the police didn't want to go in case he jumped on the tracks. So they ended up getting us, and I'm thinking, shit, yeah, they're gonna bring up this stabbing thing. They never brought it up. I'm like, okay. They're like, you're being wanted for an aggravated burglary. Because I'm thinking, I'm only on the back of the bike, we got nothing on us, I'll beat this. Me mate will just get a little driving ban, nothing. It's a minor. But then they brought up an aggravated berg for me and brought me to St Anne's from Runcorn all the way, because I thought we were just going to get let out in Runcorn and then we have to make our own way. They left me mate there but brought me to St Anne's. And then I'll never forget the police officer. Still remember his name, he's a little scumbag.
You're going to say his name?
No.
No, do you know why I say he's a scumbag, lad? Because he harassed my mum for years, lad, when I was on the run. This little scumbag, and you know who you are, he used to sit outside my mum's house, and when a man would walk in the house, they'd kick the door off afterwards and run in with no search warrant and say that I come in the house, and that's why they were running in. Meanwhile, the police know I was in Asia. They're not dumb. And he twisted me man up a few times, took my mum's passport off her, arrested my mum one time and left my little brother in the house on his own. He was underage, he was about 10 or something. My mum sued them and won, like, my mum got money out the police if they just settled out of court now, but she knocked it back. But anyway, the police officers come to interview me and they're talking about some aggravated burglary, and I'm like, wow, I've never done a burglary in my life, what the fuck are these on about? And then it clicked then, wow, it's our kid. So I'm like, okay, while our kid was in jail, I was out for like 9 months, never being pulled, never being stopped, just whenever police come I'd get off, because I thought that stabbing thing was going to come up, but it never. So now they've got me, I'm thinking, what? I'm just going to get NFA'd and I'm going to be out tonight. They kept me, they released me, and then when they've released me I'm thinking, yeah, if I've got bail and he got remanded, this is going to get NFA'd in a month or two. Like, I've been through that process a million times and knew. So I've left the police station, I'm making my way home, and I get a call off my solicitor. Can you come back to the police station? The police have made a mistake here. They're supposed to remand you into custody. So I thought, what? Remand me into custody? Fuck this, for a crime I haven't even done. I said, nah. So that's when I got off then, and I went on the run, and I just got the first train to France and then flew from France.
Was there not a point to you though when you said aggravated burglary that you thought it might have been for something else that you'd done?
Nah.
No?
Nah. Like, whenever let's say we rob other grafters, they can't go to the police.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
So we knew, like, every time we'd do someone, it's not like they wouldn't know who I am. We'd be ringing them after, like, what? Do you want to cause a problem? Nah, we don't want no trouble. Okay, leave it then. But you're not getting your shit back. Sound, mate. Where if they were going to go to the police, they'd be saying, we're going to the police, you know, mate.
Yeah.
So I knew it was nothing to do with any of that. I knew, yeah.
That's a heavy decision, lad, to just go straight away, right? Fuck it, like France, and I'm going.
Yeah.
No,
and you're still young as well, lad.
It just comes back, but like, obviously, I know you obviously think very highly of your mum, like we all do, but like, you know, at that point, you're like, you don't want to let people down. You're not, like, just speaking to you for whatever we've been on, you're not an idiot, you're a very clever person. So you know what I mean? So for you to, like, what strikes me the most is like the fact that you were just sort of like, I don't care, I'm just doing whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, at that point. Yeah. So obviously, as we touched on, something's obviously gone wrong with you. But even when you're starting to go on the run, are you thinking about planning a way to stay on the run, or is it just, I'm getting as far as I can, I'm just going to delay this process?
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to last 2 weeks. I thought, yeah, these will come out, they'll waste loads of police resources and they'll nick me. And I just thought, yeah, fuck them police. They come and get me, they'll be fuming. That's all I was thinking. I was thinking, they're going to nick me anyway, I might as well go on holiday.
Do you know when you, like, at that point, Andy said before, had you resigned yourself to a life of this now? Like,
no, I was all in at this point. Like, there was no, I weren't going to work in McDonald's, that was for sure. I had no qualifications. I've been kicked out of every school I'd ever went to. Then I got kicked out of that college. So that was my point, like,
I mean,
what they were doing now. Because I can't just work a normal job. Like, I know I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't just be a normal sit in an office. I need, like, I feel like I needed to do something hands-on. Maybe if I would have found something hands-on like MMA, I would have figured out, like, this is my passion. I never had a passion.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do with myself. So the only thing I knew what to do was the roads, lad. So
when we come onto it, like, but I mean, MMA, you know, you're the perfect story for why, you know, MMA and boxing and stuff like that should be pushed on children more. But
don't know why they don't teach it in schools.
Oh, it's crazy. We've had that conversation loads of times. It's crazy.
No.
You don't have to, you know, you don't have to get punched in the face. You don't have to compete. You don't have to fight to learn it.
I think that the brutal side of the sport, people just see that and go, my kid's not doing that. It could be jiu-jitsu, could be wrestling, could just be drills. You don't have to spar. There's other ways of training without sparring, but...
Yeah, we'll get on. So to get onto that. So when you get to... Obviously, do you initially go to Asia? Or was it just straight to Asia?
I went to France. I think I went from France.
You bunked the train first to London.
In the bog like that, here we go again.
This is the maddest thing, yeah. Do you know when I've got to the Eurostar? Because it was brand new. The Eurostar just only come out, like, recently. There was 2 queues. And like, I'm clocking everyone because I'm thinking, oh, what if CID followed me? What if this, what? Because I'm on the run now, I'm palo. I'm about to get on the thing. I'm thinking, what if they're at the borders? And you know what? Pothead thinking, oh, my palo shit. And I'm looking at the woman who's taking the passports. And she's taking passports and scanning them. So I'm thinking, oh, she might scan my passport and it might come through that I'm fingied. But then I looked in the queue next and there was some guy and he was just going. So I just went, boom, swapped to that queue. I thought, fuck that. Giving me passport, I'm like this. You know, right, mate? Yeah, just going to France. And he's just gone. Next. And I just jumped on the Eurostar. And now I'm on the Eurostar and I'm thinking, when I get to the border, there's going to be a problem. They're going to be like passports, stamps. Got out to train in France. And was like, not a stamp in my passport, not a check, nothing. And I was like, what? That was fucking easier than I thought it'd be. So then I ended up having a little mooch around France and that, and then getting a plane to India, and then I think it was India or Dubai. I think it was India though. Then from India, connecting flight, and I went to Bangkok. I spent a few days in Bangkok and that, linked up with a few people I know over there. I don't really party or nothing, lad. It's not my thing. I never have, don't drink, never took a drug in my life. But they're all big party heads. They're like, come out. So I'm like, I couldn't say no because they fucking got me this big hotel, got me nice. So I've come out with them. I'm in Bangkok and they're like trying to push all these brass on me, lad. And like, it's not me. Never shagged a brass in my life, never will. It's just a major turn off. If she doesn't want it, I don't want it. And I'm like, they're like, what do you reckon of her? And I'm like, oh, she's alright, eh? What about her then? Yeah, she's all, and now I'm making shitty excuses. Oh no, she's got moody teeth. Oh, not her, she's too skinny. Oh, not her, she's too curvy. And then now they're like bringing birds up, going, just feel her ass. And I'm like, oh look lads, the footy's on, because the World Cup was on or something. I'm like, the footy's on, let's watch the footy now. And they're like, nah, fuck that, we're going here next, we're going here. Ah, lad, they took me to this one mad gaff, bro. You go in there, lad, it was mad. You go in there and there's literally 25-30 girls on a stage, and each one of them's got a number on the chest. And when you go in there, you pay to get ping pong balls. And I didn't have a fucking clue. I'm like, wow, this is a bit mad. So my mates, I didn't know you'd have to pay to get ping pong balls. I thought they just give you them when you come in. So they give you like, my mate's got like 5 buckets. Where people coming in are getting like little buckets. He's bought 5 big buckets, but I didn't know. I thought you just got them for nothing. I thought like, oh, they must know him, he's a regular or something. And people get the ping pong and go and throw it up on the stage, and if the girls catch a ping pong, that relates to $1. So when you throw one up, they all go mad and like, no, it's mine. Do you know what I mean, lad? It's class. They're all fucking naked. No one's got clothes on.
It's mine.
So look, I didn't know you had to pay for these ping pong. So my mates must have spent fucking silly money on this big fucking 5 big cases. Lad, I got all 5 cases and just went, whoom, and threw them all on this. Look, they all started kicking each other and punching each other. They're all like this, getting handfuls of ping pongs. And look, the club owner come over and goes, mate, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, don't know, mate, it's my first day in Thailand.
It's a laugh, isn't it?
And even my mate was like, lad, what are you doing? They're going to be on us all night now. Because afterwards they come off the stage. Lad, we had about 30 brass around the table. And I'm just going, my mum's ringing me, I need to go home, me boys. I've got to get off. I ended up going back to the hotel, and then when I went back to the hotel, I thought, I can't stay here with these. I did 2 nights or 1 night with them. I thought, I can't do it. I cannot do this. Bangkok's not for me. I knew straight away, like, I don't like Bangkok.
Like the hangover, lad. It's not for me, this.
But my dad was staying in Koh Samui on a little island off Thailand. And he's like, why don't you come over here with me? I'll get you your own little gaff and that. And I thought, I wanted to go to Malaysia and see my brother and stay with my brother, because obviously he moved out. I hadn't seen him for a good while. He's busy working. He's legit and not doing his thing. But I thought, I don't want to go to my brother and then bring this heavy police presence And now they're looking at me brother, where'd you get this house from, where'd you get this cat, so forth. I stay away from me brother, go to see my dad in Koh Samui, get my own little gaff and that. If they nick me on my own then, do you know what I mean? I went to Koh Samui, I must have been there for a good 8 months, and then after 8 months I'm like, these aren't coming. There's an extradition law from Thailand. If they were coming, they would have got me. While I was in Koh Samui, there was these scousers down the road who were grafting, and one day SWAT team just come and just boomed the door off and just got them all.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, lad. And like, I've woke up through the night and heard it all and thought like, what? They're coming for me, boys! I've had all tasers and fucking mad knives in the gaff and like throwing them out the window and I've been thinking, what? Not extra charges, get rid of these. Come out in the street and that in my boxies thinking like, fuck it, I'm gonna get nicked anyway. And all these scousers were getting carted off and going, wow, yeah, fucking hell, I didn't even know they were grafting.
What were you doing those 8 months then in Koh Samui?
Just living life, bro.
Just waiting though, basically.
Yeah.
Just waiting for it to all come.
Had a bit of saving. Family are there also, my dad and that.
Just like, I mean, what's it like a normal day? Just on the beach, just going?
Lad, I was playing footy. I've always been into footy. I was playing footy, just doing bits of footy. Yeah, lifting weights every day. And yeah, just going to the beach and just chilling, lad. It's like, you got to think like the lifestyle that I'd just come from was like every day waking up 5, 6 in the morning. Lad, I used for 4 or 5 years, I used to sleep fully dressed, shoes on, clothes on, sleep fully dressed, and then boom, just in case anything happened, you're ready, you're active.
Really, yeah?
I swear to God, bro. I'd wake up, get out there, do whatever we're doing for the day. You get home 1 a.m. and then you'd have your little 4 hours kip. And that was my life every single day, bro. No days off, no Sundays, fucking chilling, nothing. So now I'm in Thailand and it's like, deload, rest, relax. I'm living life. I'm eating good food. I'm not skipping meals because I was skinny, lad. Where you're out every day, you don't even think to eat, lad. You're just stressed, bro.
When you're in a place like that, do you not have any moments where, like, you know, the sort of, well, I don't say normal you, but you come back to yourself and you think like, what am I doing? Like
when you're home alone by yourself,
and you've got like, you know, you're on a beach or something, you haven't got the chaos around you. You might just be having a minute to yourself or something. Is there ever that point where you think like, what am I doing?
I think I had serious PTSD, boys.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, like first night in Thailand and I'm sleeping in my trainees with my clothes on. I didn't even get under the quilt.
It's hard to push that
and it's
away,
fucking like 30 degrees. I'm sweating me being off. And I'm thinking, nah, man has to be ready. Like, what?
It is a mad transformation to going from that
crazy, that?
In fucking Rock Ferry to then Koh Samui. No one's after you, no one's, you know, anymore, and you can just relax.
I was in Thailand, we're still chilling with 4 phones. I wasn't even grafting. But it was still in the mindset. Yeah. Different BBM, your iPhone, your this, your little blower.
Once you're all, as you say, once you're all in, it's hard to just go, right, I'm not doing that no more. I'm just going to go down the beach and have a, sunbathe for a few hours. It's hard, but that's what I was thinking. Is there a moment where you think, like, I can do more than this, or, like...
Nah.
You're still in?
Lad, I was still had that little chip on my shoulder of, you're never going to be that, you know. You can't be no CEO. Who are you, lad? You're not going to be no fucking OBE. You're not going to be fucking one of these Londoners who fucking... I was just a scouser.
That's the thing, innit, though? Like, that, again, we've said this word a few times, that's a sad part, innit? Because you are sort of just told you can't be this. This life's just not for you.
Society's labelled you up and you just can't get rid of it,
But then once you start believing it yourself and you start telling yourself that you're living proof of how hard it is to drop it, because... you then, like, you know, you're in a place like that, and then you're still in the mindset of, I can't do none of that. I can't be that person. I can't be a good person. Do you know what I mean? It's you know, testament to you that you've eventually got to where you've got to, but it's such a dangerous, like,
but you're not like, are you able to chill, or is there still a bit of you going,
never.
I'll get a graft up here and I'll get on it again and I'll start, you know, you like...
I didn't want to graft because it's the death penalty.
Is it?
Yeah. It's not now. I was still smoking weed. I was still fogging big. I was walking down the street fogging big whiffers and people would be like, are you mad?
You're not even smoking out there either?
Nah, death penalty, brother. That much of a joint, done. You're getting hung.
Nah, that would have just...
Nah. But I didn't want to graft. I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to bring no qualms to my family. And I didn't need to, really. I could survive and that. I was nice. Cost of living's cheap over there. I had a nice house. I had a maid. I was living the life. But what you're saying about switching off, definitely, the slightest noise you're up. What was that? This is me now. I'm going now. Getting on the phone, yo lad, I think the police outside. And you're going out and it's the fucking chickens running in the back garden or something. You're like, oh, not again.
Probably is a form of PTSD, that, you know.
Yeah, I used to do mad things, like first night in the hotel, bed facing the door, like window, where's the exits,
it's the separation.
where's the fire escape, like everything. That's
it's the
just how it
separation
was,
of
bro.
character as well in it though, because like as you said before, when you were, you know, you started to enjoy the reputation you were getting. That character's not you when you're on your own. None of us, when we're all on our own, it's different, isn't it? But that separation of character's so hard, isn't it? Because you sitting in a room in Bangkok on your own is not the same lad who's, you know, in L8 just walking around and everyone's scared of. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to separate them two people.
Sometimes people used to tell me that, like you'd have certain mates who maybe weren't in that lifestyle who I knew from when I was younger, and maybe I'd go and pass by them a few times, throw them a bit of change or whatever. How's your ma, bum bum, and they'd be like, lad,
it's not you.
How'd you do it, bro? And I'd be like, don't know, you just fucking do it. And they'd be like, nah, I don't believe it, bro.
No.
Especially when they hear stories from the street maybe that have been also exaggerated, and then they're coming to me and telling me my own story, and I'm like, where'd you hear that one, bro?
It's hard to believe, just speaking to you now, that you could do like really bad stuff, because you just, I guess energy doesn't lie, does it? And I mean, I guess it is quite hard to believe you would have done like really bad stuff, do you know what I mean? And I guess that's, for someone who's grown up with you, it would have been hard to look at you and go, well, I know everyone says, you know, be wary of him, but that's not the person I know. Or that, you know, was there a party that thought it weren't? Like, you know, when people like that from, you know, people who were legit would go, you know, Shem, that's not you.
There's a point where I couldn't separate the two at a certain point. In the beginning, there was a separation, definitely, like, but there was a point where that
just became blurred.
That becomes half you. It is what it is.
So what's next after Koh Samui then?
So now I'm fed up with Koh Samui. You walk down the street, there's that same old lady sitting on the chair outside the shop. This guy's gonna drive past on the bike like clockwork. It's a proper chilled island. Like, there's nothing going on there. And I'm like, I'm not on holiday anymore now, I live here, so it's not the same. So I was like, on the phone to me brother, yo, I'm coming to KL, lad, coming to Kuala Lumpur, let's go. Jumped on a plane, landed in Kuala Lumpur, straight off the plane, straight into a taxi. Jumped in a taxi, the guy, where you want to go, lad? I said, no way, you been to Liverpool, you lad, saying lad? Wow, what's happening, lad, kid? And he just goes, you know speak English, I know take you. And I'm like, lad, what are you on about, brother? I'm speaking English now, I'm from England, me, you know, mate. And he just goes, sorry, I know take you. I didn't know in Malaysia they say la as well. Yes, so I've jumped out into another taxi, phone on loudspeaker to me brother, speak to him, lad. He's give the address, whatever. I'm on the way to me brother's. Now, obviously, for us in Liverpool, big football culture. We've always played footy. Like, before even the crime thing, that's what I used to do. In London, I played for a good team, and that I used to play for this team. Then they linked me up with Tottenham. I was training with Tottenham, and that I was half a decent player when I was younger. It was probably the road staff fucked me up. So I'm still into footy at this point. I'm not now. I kind of hate it now, to be honest. Yeah,
me and you both.
But anyway, another story for another day. I'm in this taxi on the way to me brother's. Just landed in Malaysia. I've got all my suitcases with me. We get close to the city centre and we drive past this footy pitch, and I'm like to the driver, stop mate, stop. Pull over here, go on, here's your money, fuck off. So haul my bags onto the pitch. I can see all these kids playing footy. Whipped me footy boots out my bag, and I'm like, boys, let me play with yous. And they're all like, none of them really spoke English and that. And they're all like, the manager's come over, he could speak English. He was like, mate, we play for the government, this is a government team. He's like, that's a hospital, our team's a hospital, we everyone here works in the hospital, you can't really play with us. And I'm just like, you know, Scousers, lad, we just blag our way to anything, lad. I'm like, yeah, do you know Steven Gerrard? Yeah, man, he's me cousin, lad. Fucking, I'm over here now, I'm actually with the team that, and I've just chatted shit to him, lad. And he's just like, oh, you from Liverpool? They're all like showing, yeah, Liverpool. He's one of them had a Liverpool tattoo. He's like, yeah, Liverpool. I'm like, sound. I put my boots on. Left all my bags at the side and that. And it was mad, lad. Like, these play every single day. They were half decent, but they had no clue of like shit you just learn, because it's our culture. Like, you're a defender, the guy's attacking. Show him the line, don't show him the inside so he can't cut in and get a shot on goal. And I'm showing them all little things like, what are you doing, lad? Why are you letting him just cut in on his right foot and shoot? Show him the line so when he goes the other way, he can only cross it, or you pressure him and you get the ball, or it goes out, it's less dangerous. And they're all like, wow. And now I'm like head coach, bro. They're all asking me questions, and I'm like, so look, boys, this is what you're gonna play a 4-3-2, and then you go down and lad, I'm just bossing it, lad. We've got into a match at the end,
Head coach.
and I just had a worldie, lad. The game was like no goals, but it's a ball on the cone. So to score, you've got to hit the ball. Now, I've played with this team loads afterwards, and it's hard to hit the ball, but I don't know why. It must have been the confidence that day. I hit that ball 3 times. So these are like, what? Who's this fucking guy, bro? Turning, hitting the ball off the cone. Lad, it's hard to do to hit it because it's only a little ball on a cone. So afterwards, they're like, what? Yeah, they're all chilling with me and that. Some of them don't even speak English, but they're still trying to like, hello, hi. And they're all buzzing off me, bro, lad. It was mad, you know. Look, it was mad. So I'm like, look, give me your number and I'll come and play again. They're like, yeah, it sounds defo. Make sure you come back. So whatever, I've gone back 2 hours. Linked up with me brother, boom. Jet lagged, slept for fucking however many hours. Come back to the pitch. In my mind now, like, I can play with them, but I can't join the team, do you know what I mean? Because I don't work in the hospital. I don't have a visa to be there. I'm on a holiday visa. But I showed up at the thing, and I'm like, what's happening, boys? Manager comes over to me, he's like, look, I've got you this card, yeah? If anyone asks, you're a doctor. And I'm on the team, bro. Mad.
Dr. Shem.
Yeah, Dr. Shem Rock. Coming like Dr. Sebi. And I just joined the team, and I was just playing footy every day, lad, and fucking going to all these playing police, playing the firefighter, playing the army. Mad, bro. Crazy.
My God,
Didn't even mean for it to happen. So I'm with this fucking government team, playing every day, lad. It was fucking mad, bro.
That is mad.
Yeah. I think we just know how to blag it, lad.
Yeah.
Like, Asia's very conservative, and people aren't really like boisterous, and if you say something, you mean it. Where we just chat shit, lad. And I'm just there, just filling them full of hope, lad.
We're gonna win the league.
Yeah. Like, look, put me up front, and we've won. Like, to bear in mind, the team was like bottom 3 in the table or something. And I'm like, don't worry, boys, we've won this year. Yeah.
How did it go? Like, the footy was good with them, was it? Like, do
you know what? I was smashing goals for them, you know. But it'd be like,
still making.
It'd be like, I've scored a hat trick, but we lost 15-3. So I'm like, well in, lads, good game, boys. Shaking hands and that. Opposite teams are like, wow, who's this English guy? Taking pictures with me, and then after the game, I'm like,
shit, like that.
swear, lad, it was mad. But yeah, so first night, I'm in Kuala Lumpur. My brother's like, lad, I haven't seen you for ages, we're going out. And I'm like, oh lad, you know I don't go out, bro. And he's like, well, you want to watch the footy, don't you? Because of the time zone, the footy's on at like 3 a.m. Liverpool were playing Arsenal or someone. So I'm like, yeah, I do want to watch the footy. He's like, well, I'll take you to a place where we can watch the footy. So I'm like, yeah, it's sound. My brothers took me to this club. It was a bit lively in there, but there was a bar part, so I'm just sitting at the bar. The bar gets a bit busy, so I've took a step back. I'm in the middle of the little bar dance floor, but there's the club part's over there. It was alright. I'm just chilling there, watching the footy now, chilling like this. Mom, everything's going on. And lad, people are just coming up to me like birds and like stroking my chest and that, and I'm like, oh, get off me, love, whatever. Then I'm like, next minute a bird pinches me arse. I'm like, what? Lad, before half time, about 6 birds have come on to me. I'm thinking, yeah, I must be doing bits today. I'm getting my phone out and that, taking selfies and looking at the picture going, I must be on form today, me. Lad, I've ran over to my brother and that, like, lad, the birds in here are on me, you know, lad. I don't know what it is, bro. It must be the Scouts thing or something. They're just feeling the vibe. And he's like, oh, what? Didn't you know? And I'm like, what? He's like, no, you see this nightclub? Yeah, every woman in here's a brass. And I'm just like, lad, get me out of here, bro. What are you doing, lad? I didn't even watch the rest of the game, bro. I just got home. I just walked home, back to my brother's. My brother gave me a key and I watched it in the house. The club's called Beach Club. Anyone who knows about Beach Club in Malaysia.
Is it that bad for brasses out there as here in Asia?
Like, do you know what? It's not all of Asia. But it's just like, especially when you go to Thailand, like if they have a daughter, they're kind of happy. Because daughter can give massages.
That innit?
Yeah.
It's a different culture, innit?
Yeah, if you have a son, it's a bit harder because they're poor, bro. How are they going to make money, bro? Some of them come from real poor villages and that.
Yeah.
So they send now their kids to like Malaysia, Philippines, to go and be fucking Brasses, lad, it's mad. Or send them to the main cities. And they just love white guys, bro. And over there, I'm a white guy to them. So you do, lad, over there, you just look, you just go over there, opportunities unreal. Like, my mate, he teaches English. He doesn't even speak real good English. He's Russian. Serious, boys.
Like that Googling himself.
Look, he gets on the phone to me, brother, please. You teach me 2 words, brother. I go teach kids tomorrow. I'm like, lad, I'm not really an English teacher. You know, he goes, brother, don't worry, you're English good.
Wow.
Look, you know, you're a white guy over there, smashed it.
Opportunities.
You're the model, you're anything you want.
People listen to this podcast now, just Google one-way flights to Malaysia.
Trips to Kuala Lumpur.
Trust me.
Did he beach club or whatever?
Especially Thailand. It's nice, bro. And cost of living's cheap, lad. The life out there was just mad. But yeah, I'm in Malaysia, just doing my thing. Everything's going well. I'm with my brother. I haven't seen him for a long time. And because I'm in Malaysia on a tourist visa, you only get 3 months. And after 90 days, it is every 90 days, you got to leave the country and then you got to come back into the country. So every 90 days I go to a new country and go and see a different part of Southeast Asia. So I remember one day, I've always loved MMA. I've always watched MMA, even when I was doing what I was doing. You'd be like, UFC's on tonight, lads. Go and watch it in mine. I used to watch all mad other promotions as well. Like, I was just into it. I didn't really want to do it. Like, a few of my cousins, back when I was in Liverpool, they used to do kickboxing and that. They still do. My cousin Elliot, shout out to Elliot, Ashley, all of them. And they'd be like, lad, come down the gym, lad, learn how to fight. And I'd be like, lad, I'm rolling around on the floor like a girl, lad, I'm not doing none of that. And that was my mentality back then, but to watch it, I enjoyed it. So I'm out in Malaysia, done my visa run to Singapore. And while I'm walking down the street in Singapore, I just seen this big, huge glass window, lad. It was like one big, giant window. And when I walked past, lad, it was all these guys doing jiu-jitsu. And like, I didn't know. I knew what jiu-jitsu was because I knew, like, obviously Hoist Gracie, the UFC, all of that. But I didn't know jiu-jitsu or nothing, do you know what I mean? So I'm watching and I'm like, all I knew was white belt shit, black belt's good. So I'm looking for the black belts to watch. And I'm watching the wrapping guys up, the choking guys out. It must have been like an open mat because they were just going at it. And the ladder must have stood there for 20 minutes, bro, just watching. And then being like, wow, what am I doing? I'm fucking hell, I need to get back to the hotel, blah, blah, blah. Now, subconsciously, that must have stuck with me in my mind because even now I've still remembered that, do you know what I mean? I thought, wow, it's sick, that I'd love to try that one day. Whatever, thought nothing of it. Months down the line, later, I'm in Malaysia. Walking down the street, I just see this sign, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I just thought, you know what? I'm not doing nothing anyway. My brother goes to work every day and leaves me on my own. I'm fucking bored. I'm playing for this footy team, but it's not. After that footy, I've just got loads of free time. I'm not on holiday now. I'm living there. It's boring. So I thought, you know what? I'll run 2 hours, get some change. Boom, flew back in the gym. Gym was empty. There was this woman on the desk. She was the yoga teacher. I flew in there and I'm like, look, I want to buy a full year membership and I want to buy a gi. And she's like, have you ever done this before? And I'm like, nah. But in my mind, I'm thinking, if I pay for it, I won't scarf. I'll force myself to go because I'm a tight bastard. I'll be like, nah, I'm getting me money's worth. Where if I go to a free trial class and I don't like it, I'm not coming back. Because I'll be like, nah, this is shit, I'll make some light to stroke my ego. Yeah. So I'm like, nah, love, I wanna fucking, I'm all in. And she's like, nah, just come to the free trial tonight. I'm like, nah. We had a little back and forth and she blagged me to come to the free trial. So, gone home, sitting at home like, oh, I can't wait for this. Got me fucking, I had like spats and rash guard from footy anyway, you know, the long ones. So come in, me long rash guard, me long spats. And I don't know anyone in the gym. The only person I know is the woman I've spoke to. And she's the yoga teacher. I didn't know that at the time, obviously. But you know, yoga people, they're like all nice and friendly and that auntie, she's come over and she's hugged me. So now I'm like, I've hugged her like, oh, I'm speaking to her. So now to everyone else's mind in the room, I'm with her, I'm a yoga guy or something, aren't I? I'm a yoga wanker. So they probably thought, yeah, we'll fucking kill him. In my mind, this is how deluded I was, boys. In my mind, I've had fights and that, you know, I've had a few street fights, I lift weights every day, I play footy, I'm in shape. Someone's getting their head punched in. That's what, in my mind, I'm like, I'm running through people. we done the warm-up, I'm breathing out my ass. Like, wait there, coach, let me get some water. But I don't understand, like, jiu-jitsu is flowy and technical, and I'm just like, picking people up and that. You do that for 30 seconds and you go, I'm breathing out my ass in the warm-up only. Afterwards, alright, time to roll. Lad, they're putting me with people, I'm thinking like it's a fight and that, I'm fucking dragging people and that, I'm fucking nearly kicking them and that. You can't punch or kick in jiu-jitsu. I didn't know what the fuck was up. So I'm going hard, and the coach must have seen it, you know what I mean? So he's like, go with him. Lad, I'm getting smoked. I got choked out by little kids, little 12-year-olds, these, you know, jiu-jitsu prodigies who were up from berimbolo and taking you back and fucking bow and arrows and like doing all, choking me with his own sleeves and that, wrapping his belt around me and that. And I'm just like, what? Got choked out by some bird. Like, it was bad. And after that, like, my jiu-jitsu coach, lad, I'm so close to him. He's like my dad or something, you know what I mean? He proper taught me a lot. I feel like if I would never have met him, maybe I wouldn't have went as far as I've come in the sport. Like, he really taught me how to be an adult and fucking grow up. Like, I did have a big chip on my shoulder, and I feel like he's a big part of changing me. With what, like, his mentality, like, kind of instilled it into me every day training with him. Well, I got to roll with him on my first ever class. In my whole life of knowing him, I've never seen him let a beginner roll on their first day. Never mind him actually roll with a beginner. So I think that day he wanted to smoke me. Like, he must have seen me going hard with the students, probably fucking muscling out of arm bars with 12-year-olds. And he thought, yeah, I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm rolling with him. He's being dead flowy, being dead nice. He's playing guard, I'm on top, and I'm just like, ugh. And he just went, boop, threw up a triangle. And I'm like, first time I'd ever been in a triangle in my life, didn't have a fucking clue what a triangle was. I'm like, what? I know how to escape this. And I just picked him up and just went, and slammed him. Oh my fucking god. Slams aren't allowed in jiu-jitsu. Slamming someone's like a big no. Like, if you slam someone in jiu-jitsu in the gym, you're probably fighting. Yeah, it's like it's like throwing an elbow in Muay Thai. Okay. You can throw them in the fight, but elbow your training partner in the gym and you're fighting. So he just went, bro, he was like submitting me, and when I'd go tap 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 tap, he'd keep it for an extra few seconds and then he'd let it go and carry on rolling, where normally you tap, you reset and you shake hands and you go again. Nah, tap 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 tap. Lad, he schooled me, he fucked me up. And I went home, I'm sitting on the couch, lights off, in my boxies, just going, I'm like, that, what the fuck just happened to me? Nah, this can't be real, this, boys. I'm getting on the phone and that's the lads, like, lads, he's not going to believe this, you know. Lad, he's only about 57 kilos or something. Nah, look, boys, look, I can't straighten my arms, look, I was like that. I'm sitting, big ice things on strapped round to me like that. But I knew then, like, I don't know what he's done to me, but I want to be able to do that to other people. I had no aspirations of competing. I had no aspirations of transitioning to MMA. I didn't want to be a fighter. I just thought, wow, this is sick. And I just started showing up like I was there the next day. And I showed up at the 7 a.m. class after just finishing the night class. And you could see when I walked in, he must have just thought, is he mental? I just battered him.
Like, you know what it sounds like, lad? It sounds a little bit like the Karate Kid on the old fella. Do you know what I mean?
Lad, it is, yeah.
Like, he's shown someone, maybe, you know, like a young kid who thought, you know, he's on the wrong path here. I need to kind of break him and mould him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And lad, it's like, I come in, and it's like, there was a vibe, like, oh, it's going to kick off. Like, you're all right, lads? So I'm like, whatever. I'm doing the classes. Lad, I just started showing up every day, 3 times a day. Because I was just like, I want to get good. I want to get good. I'm shit now, but I know if I keep coming, I'll get good. Yeah. Lad, I'm ringing my manager like, can't come to training tonight, fella. I'm not well. Showing up to games only. Swerving footy and just going to jiu-jitsu. And then it's like, after 2 weeks of showing up every single day, the coach is like, come here, lad, let me show you something. And now he started to give me a little... Because I was ferocious, bro, I was aggressive and explosive, I'm naturally explosive. So now he's like, wow, this guy's a bit of an athlete, actually, and he's showing up. So, fucking, I can build someone here. Obviously, when you're a coach, lad, you want to work with people who want to learn. Yeah, you see. So many people show up and just show up, and they're just like, oh, I'm just doing this after work. Like he's teaching something and some lads are like, what did you do tonight? Oh yeah, we'll go for some bevies after. He's talking and I'm like, why? No, but how? But why would I do that? Oh shit, so you'd break my arm from there? Show me then. I don't believe you. Okay, tap. Alright, I believe you. So he's seen that in me and must have thought, I can make him a savage. So now he started showing me shit. And lad, it's like magic. You know, when you see a magician do something, you go, nah, that's not real. Do that again. That's what I was like, bro. I was like a kid just seeing a magician. And lad, I just took to it, bro. I just was there non-stop. After 2 months, he was like, you're competing this weekend. And I'm like, nah, I'm not. He's like, no, you are. I've signed you up, you're going. So I'm like, wow, mad this. Went there, competed, and lad, he just made me drill this one arm bar forever. Can remember it, boom. And then what to do when the guy stacks to counter the arm bar to finish it still. And bro, I just went to the competition and just went arm bar, and just finished everyone with the exact same armbar. And I just left the mat and was just like, wow, did you see that, Bruno? I'm like, what? And then from then on I was just all in. I just knew like
I feel like fucking learning this armbar.
It's my, like, obviously I'm only like I haven't learned anything, but I was saying to you when we went to UFC London, Paul Craig done a very similar thing, and I was saying to him, lad, do you know how sick that is?
Savage.
It's just savage. It's the, like, for me, it's my favourite martial art to watch. Like, I know sometimes I introduce people to UFC or whatever, and they go, can't we just watch them stand and bang? I was like, no,
get them up, lad.
Yeah, but
I'm the same.
Yeah, I'm obsessed by it. But was that the first time in years that you've been humbled then at the start of that?
Oh, for sure, yeah. First time in a long time. Like, I've never been humbled more than that ever in my life. Ever. Yeah. And I feel like that's the point where you either quit or you're all in. Yeah. And for me, it was like all in. I'm not one of these people, I can't do something and do it as a hobby. I'm either like 100% gonna do it or I'll just swerve it. I'm not a 50-50 or one foot in, 1 foot out. I don't know, maybe it's just part of my personality. And as soon as I left the mats, I was just like, lad, this is me. I want to keep doing this. And I just kept showing up to the gym. Like, it was probably detrimental, but for the first year I trained 7 days a week, 3 times a day. Even on Sundays we're still training. Like, it fucked me back up after a year, but I just wanted it, lad. I just wanted to learn this jiu-jitsu thing. I just wanted to be, I'm watching all jiu-jitsu black belts, and like, my professor put me onto this guy, Herbert Santos. He's like from the favelas. He's like, in jiu-jitsu everyone's dead nice and respectful, and I always used to be like, lad, why doesn't he just fucking tell him, lad? Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, lad, why is he shaking his hand, lad? They're about to have a straightener. And he'd be like, no, look. So he put me onto this guy, Herbert Santos, and he's like a jiu-jitsu savage. Yeah. He's like from the streets. He's just like, so for me, I was watching him and just going like, wow. And then he showed me like a picture with him and Herbert when Herbert was young. And my professor was like, when I was a black belt, he was a blue belt, and he come to the tournament and carried me bag for me because I was a black belt. And then ever since, like, he was like, he still is my favourite grappler to watch. So I was just like, now I'm studying all these guys, and I'm just like, this is sick. And then I just started travelling, competing. I was doing all local tournaments, and lad, I'd just go, like, I'd do my weight class, I'd do open weight class, gi and no gi. So it's like, you'd have 4 fights in your weight class, 4 fights in your open weight class, then you fight no gi, 4 fights in your weight class, 4 fights in, and I was just running through everyone. I was just finishing, like, not even winning on points, just submitting everyone with the same boring shit. And I'm just like, literally just focusing on basics and just smoking everyone. And I was just like, what? Am I good or are these shit? At first, I just thought, like, these guys must be shit. But then when I'm with Bruno and I'm like, all these travelling black belts come through the gym, this guy's from America, this guy's from there, and he's only a small fella, like, I'll give him his due. Some of these guys are coming in at 120 kilos and that, and he just wrapped them up, bro. And they're black belts. And I'd just be like, wow. And I'm not going to name no names, but it wasn't until like a UK based guy come in and I'm like, wow, I know this guy, he's a fucking world champion, whatever. And he just smoked him. And I'm just like, wow, I've got a fucking, like you said, he is Mr. Miyagi to me, lad, do you know what I mean? And I'm doing all these jiu-jitsu tournaments. And then he's like, look, I want us to start going international. I want us to go IBJJF. It's like the best tournaments. He's like, there's a big one coming up in Singapore, Dumao one day and ADCC the next day. He's like, I want you to go and compete there. So I'm like, come ahead then, we'll go. Are you going to come with me though? And he's like, yeah, I'll come with you. So I'm like, sick. We've gone over to Singapore. And all the gym, like Singapore is proper grappling based. Like jiu-jitsu in Singapore is huge. Like one championship's based out of Singapore. UFC do events in Singapore. Every gym in Singapore, the jiu-jitsu coaches are all from Brazil. They're all like good world champions, or they're all someone, do you know what I mean? So when we've landed there, Bruno, he's from the favelas in Brazil, just like all them cunts, so they all know each other. They're like, oh, we're out, speaking to each other, bum bum. And I'm just like, I don't speak Portuguese, I've forgot it all. I don't remember any of it, so I don't know what the fuck they're saying. But, you know, when you pick up a vibe, they're all speaking to each other, they're all the different gym owners and different coaches. And I can see Bruno like, no, and pointing at me.
They're bigging you up, like?
Yeah, so I'm thinking like, and that, as soon as they've all got off, I've said, lad, what did they just say about me then? Because I'm thinking they're slagging me off or something. I'm like, what did they just say about me then? He's like, forget about it, lad, focus on the tournament. And I'm like, lad, just tell me, bro, because it'll do me head in. And he's like, look, they said you're good in that, but you're not Singapore good. Like, you come here today, you're going to get smashed. And I've just gone, yeah, is that what they said? Look, you don't understand. I didn't, like, I was coming there to win. Maybe if I got 2 points, I would have stalled it out and been like, because these guys are good. Some of them have been to the Worlds and that and won medals and shit. So if I would have come up on the scoreboard, I would have like stalled it out. But now I'm just thinking, nah, fuck this, I'm coming for heads. And lad, look, submitted everyone, open weight, division, everyone, smoked everyone. A few guys had a little name and that, ran through them all. And afterwards I'm just like, wow, that's sick. And then look, that's when like, because like I'm a blue belt at that point, that's when it's like, my name just blew up. Like, who's this Scouser? Obviously, you had people like Darren doing his thing as well. Mm-hmm. So now maybe off the back of the Scouts thing, everyone's like, who's this Scouser in Asia? He's winning all these tournaments. So then it was like, I just started doing all these mad tournaments, beating everyone. I went and done super fights with black belts as a blue belt. And like, my name just fucking grew. And then I'm coming back to my gym, and my gym owner's like, you're starting to get traction and that. He's like, look, if you start promoting yourself on social media, you can train here for nothing. So I'm like, sound, yeah, I will do. Made an Instagram, I'm fucking on the run, but I'm like, fuck it, I'm not asked anyway. Made a Twitter, made a Facebook. My followers are all going up. I'm like, wow, this is mad, this. And then this is when I feel like another real turning point in my life, where I used to come to the gym and some people there were like, there was a few of the lads, maybe someone from Scotland, whatever, but majority of people were Asian. I used to maybe chill with a few of the Arab lads, Iranians, whatever, because they're from maybe rougher areas. I could relate to them a bit more. They're like the boys, do you know what I mean? They're not Scouts, but they're closest to a Scout, so you're getting out there. But then it was like, I'm on the mats now, and like people are coming up to me like, fucking, I don't know, like, they work for the president, or this woman's a millionaire, or this guy owns loads of businesses, and they're coming up to me like, oh yeah, been watching all your fights, you're doing well, keep it up. And like, these guys are starting to sponsor me. Like, one guy's paying me apartments, the next guy's paying all me food, this guy's paying all me travel everywhere I go, this guy's buying all me gears. And then like, the lad I used to see myself as, this fucking scally from Liverpool who's fucking never gonna do nothing with his life, started to realise like, these people don't see me like that. Now I'm speaking to them every day and I'm asking them questions, and they think England, they think Harry Potter, the Queen, cup of tea, and that's how they're looking at me. And I'm like, wow, these are sound, these. So I'm just getting on with them all. It was like a family vibe and that now. I'm proper loving it there. It was mad, lad. And then,
is there any point at this point, you know, things are going so well for you and it's a boss picture you've just painted, is the kind of the anxiety of being on the run and looking over your shoulders, that kind of gone now, is it?
Put it all to the back of my mind. And I just thought, while I'm here, I found something I'm really passionate about. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to do it till the wheels fall off.
When you see your coaching, I can see just the way you're talking that you admire him. Did you obviously you didn't tell him that you were?
No, at a certain point, he's on a level with me. He's from the favelas. He's one of the lads. I just told him, like, lad, because he's telling me to go to the Worlds and that. He's like, lad, you'll smash people. You go to the Worlds, you'll win, and that he's saying. And then I've had to just, like, I'm like, yeah, one day. Yeah, I might do. I'll think about it. And then one day I just had to be like, lad, I can't ever go to America, me, you know, lad. I can't go and compete in England, me, you know. Why? I knew something was up.
How did he take that? Like, did he?
He was saddened, obviously, because his favourite fucking students, or one of his best students, because he did have other good students, but some of them were doing MMA, or some of them were like travelling and coming back. I was just there every day. And if Bruno said run at the wall head first, I was running at the wall head first. If he said this will make your jiu-jitsu better, I was doing it. Like, sometimes he'd just go, do push-ups. And I wouldn't even be like, why, what have I done? And then he'd stop the class and see, that's what you need to be doing. Now fucking, if I tell you to overhook. Like, he's not asked, you know what I mean? He's a really good coach, but no bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved, lad.
Do you reckon that's what you needed? Someone to say to you, like, someone not to be afraid, not afraid of you, but not be intimidated by you as the character.
Yeah. I don't think anyone was intimidated by me because they didn't know me.
No, but I mean, like, from where you come from.
Yeah.
For then someone to look at you and, like, you know,
as a normal guy,
you had a laugh and he submitted you and that stuff, but I don't know, maybe subconsciously someone to, like, you know, I'd say not respect you for being who you are at home. Do you know what I mean?
It's mad because he wasn't just me coach. He taught me other shit, like off the mats even. He'd bring me to his house and let me eat with his family and that, and we'd go out and do things, and like I'd be out and he'd spit on the floor. I'd be like, what are you doing? And I'd be like, what do you mean you're not me dad? 20 push-ups. Nah, you're not coming to the gym then. Don't come to the gym tomorrow. Yeah, coach.
Wow.
And you're doing them, lad, and then before you know it, lad, you start to pick up on the good habits and stop being a scumbag, lad. He taught me loads on and off the mat. Yeah, he was a proper real guy, lad.
But that's what martial arts teaches at the core, isn't it? That's why, like, you know, everyone walks into that beginner's class, whether you're 80 kilos, 90 kilos, you know, 100 kilos or 40, everyone's the same, aren't they?
Yeah.
And, you know, everyone's just the person prepared to put the most work in is the one who's going to progress regardless of what your weight is. And I think that's what it is at its core. It just takes you down to nothing, doesn't it? And you've got to sort of build yourself back up to survive, really. When did MMA come then?
I went to the World Championships in Dubai.
What made you change then to go travelling? Because obviously you were reluctant at first about travelling too far. Was Dubai okay to go to, was it?
Yeah, Dubai, at that point there was no extradition from Dubai and that. Yeah, I just weren't willing to go Europe, to be honest, or America, because I just thought, fuck that. I weren't against travelling, to be honest. It was just, I was just in the gym. I was just happy to be training with him. Yeah, like, I didn't care about competing. If he wouldn't have pushed me to compete, I might not have competed. I might have just been in that gym every day with him and just been happy with that. Like, I was getting to roll with him every day. Like, he'd have fights coming up, he'd have camps coming up, and he'd ask me to roll with him. He'd ask me to be in his corner and corner him, lad. And I'm a fucking white belt or a blue belt, and I'm like, you're gonna fight fucking killers. Like, he'd done a tournament, an 8-man tournament, open weight tournament. He was the lightest guy in the tournament. No one in that whole tournament was under like 85 kilos. And he asked me to go there with him and corner him in Singapore. I don't know if you know who Craig Jones is. Craig Jones was one of the participants, and he made it all the way to the final against Craig Jones, and he beat a guy who was like 100 kilos in the tournament, black belt. And lad, it's mad, because I know his game the same way he knows my game. My game is just a shitter version of his game. So everything he would do is what I would do. So when he's in certain positions, I'm like, lad, fucking make the overhook tighter. Don't give him that underhook. Yeah. Okay, feet on the hip. So you know now, keep your hip away from his. Yeah. And I'm just like, sometimes I don't even need to tell him. Sometimes I go, and he does it, and I'm like, boom, we're in sync here. And lad, he made it all the way to the final. Fought that Craig Jones. Craig Jones beat him, like, but Craig Jones one of the best in the world. Like, and he's huge. Probably on the juice as well. So,
allegedly.
So yeah, now it's my turn. I've gone to the World Championships in Abu Dhabi. Fucking, I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself for this one. Like,
what year is this, sorry?
Oh, fuck me. 2016, 2015 or something, I don't know. Yeah. I showed up at this tournament, and lad, we're going to like open mats with other Brazilians, and lad, it's mad. Dubai's like a proper Abu Dhabi is like a proper hub for jiu-jitsu. Lad, he took me to this gaff to go and train, and there was like 100 black belts on the mat. No one was any other belt. They were all black belts, and I'm the only blue belt on the mat. Like, wow. They're all teaching in Portuguese, speaking Portuguese, and I'm just there like, you alright, kidda? How are you, mate? Sound nice to meet you. And they're just like, who's this blue belt? But when it's time to roll, after the class, they're going, lad, is he competing in the Worlds? And lad, they're coming up to me and they're going, he's going to win. He's going to be a world champion. He's going to, oh my lad, he's good, he's going to win. So lad, in my head, there was this huge pressure, but there was also this, I've already won. Yeah. And it let it get to me a little bit. I got to the tournament in the first round. I fought a guy from UAE. And he was shit. He was absolutely dog shit. And I only beat him on 2 points. And I was thinking, like, what's going on? I feel weird, I don't feel good. Maybe it was the weight cut as well. Like, I shouldn't have probably cut weight. I never cut weight for jiu-jitsu, because it's the Worlds and everyone else does it. I thought I'd do it, probably shouldn't have. And then I fought in my second fight, I fought a guy from Angola and he put me to sleep with a loop choke. I was playing half guard in my position, everything was good, and I was like, I know what's coming here. He's going to go for it. It was a baseball bat choke. He's going to go for the baseball bat choke. Seen it a million times. When he does, I'll fucking counter it with it. And then I just woke up. Ref shaking me legs like that, and I just looked at him and went, I haven't pissed myself, have I? And he went, nah, you're alright, fella, get up. I was like, sound, got up, whatever. After then, it was like, I still wanted to compete. I did. But it's like, I'm my own biggest critic. I knew, like, I need to work on some shit. I need to work harder, I need to train harder, I need to go more. And then, like, my coach was like, lad, fucking sat me down one day and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm fucking competing and I'm doing alright. And he's like, I know, but you can't do this forever, you know. I'm like, why can't I? I've got sponsors and that. And he's like, yeah, what about when you got a family and 4 kids, lad? You're gonna fucking live off sponsors. You're going and competing in jiu-jitsu. How much money have you made, mate? Nothing really, lad, to be honest. No money in jiu-jitsu. No. He's like, lad, there's this tournament coming up. It's MMA. And I'm like, but I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. He's like, exactly. We'd be like, hoist Gracie. Go in there and show them all your jiu-jitsu and that. It'll make you big and that. I'm like, don't know, you know. He's like, look, anyone who wins this tournament, you automatically get a contract to one championship. Everyone in my gym was already on one championship. Aguilan, Keanu, Gianni, everything, Mehdi, now he's there as well. Like, so when I was watching MMA and watching these lads, I would go to their shows and watch them fight, and it'd be like, lad, this is sick. Like, production value wise, the best show in the world.
Just for context, one championship is as big, bigger than UFC in Asia.
In Asia, it's bigger than UFC.
That's why UFC can't, like, UFC is making everything they can now to
break the market
Asia and bring every fight. But I mean, the man who runs it's like
he's a billionaire.
He ran a hedge fund in the US for years, and he's like a complete billionaire. Yeah.
So, I've heard that it can be a path to one championship, and I've just thought, you know what, this can better my family's lives, and that I'm seeing them making good money and that I can fucking start making serious money and doing things. So I thought, you know what, fuck it, I'll do it. Went in there with 0 wrestling, 0 striking, and fucking got the head punched off me in the first fight, but took the guy down and submitted him. Look, it's Asia's a mad gaff, yeah. You could not.
You know the people who now you fight against. Obviously, they can scrap, they can do everything. Are they as good as jiu-jitsu maybe, or because they're focusing on other things and maybe you've got
I feel the same though now.
Yeah.
Like, my jiu-jitsu isn't what it used to be. I feel I'm probably wrong, but that's how you feel, because now you're not doing jiu-jitsu 3 times a day.
Yeah.
You're doing
striking,
boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, strength and conditioning. Then you got to do all your boring stuff, like your extra work, your wall work, your footwork. So you got to juggle everything. Jiu-jitsu. I was just doing jiu-jitsu every day. I wasn't even lifting. But so now at this point, lad, Asia is a crazy place. You could never do this in Liverpool. It would not. It'd go off. Someone would get killed. So picture. Do you know what the Twin Towers are in Malaysia?
No.
Yeah, with the thing across the bridge across there.
Yeah, oh no, it wasn't the Twin Towers, it was a different mall, sorry. It was Paradigm Mall. It's still a big shopping mall. Imagine St. John's, yeah.
Ah, okay, just like...
Imagine St. John's, and imagine they just put an MMA cage in the middle of St. John's, and now imagine every single part of St. John's is full of people. Packed as it could possibly be.
A modern day Colosseum.
And anyone who walks past this cage, they go, do you want to fight? Jump in the cage if you want and do a little tryout.
Wow.
Bro, they were letting anyone walk in, and look, people were getting sparked out cold and that. And this is what I was saying, if that was Liverpool, someone who thinks he's the boy would jump in, get knocked out and come back with his mates, and it'd be going off. It'd be going off, let me tell you. Lad, I'm showing up to the event with me brother, a big firm of us, and we just bossed the show, lad. No one had ever seen no Scousers before, lad. Everyone's like, hey, hi. We're like, move, we're here. Jumped in the cage. They were like, first round, you got to grapple with this guy. Second round, you're going to go with someone else in the cage, and then you're going to have an MMA go. So I've grappled with this guy, this fucking Russian guy, choked him out bar 15 times, boom, boom, boom. So they're like, okay, writing down and out. Boom. Got in the cage, they put me in with this kickboxing guy, and he punched the head off me on the feet. But I just kept taking him down, and I'd take him down and I'd submit him. And you know when I'd submit him, I'd get up like, yes, the fight's done. And they'd be like, no, this is just a tryout, mate. Fight. And I'd be like, but if he knocks me out, it's over. And they're like, oh yeah, if he knocks you out, it's done. We're not letting you get knocked out twice. And I'm like, well, this isn't fair, is it? Lad, I had to submit him like 10 times or something. But every time I'd get stood up, he just punched the head off me. So after now, I've gone back to the gym and that, and we've got the call, like they liked me. We've selected you to be on this TV show. So you're on a TV show, it's like a tournament, and you're going to fight every month until you're in the final.
It's like Ultimate Fighter, like kinda.
Yeah, kinda, yeah. Lad, it was mad. And they made weight classes, but the weight class I was in, because they didn't want to mix the weight class with foreigners. So my weight class was called Foreign Pride, and it was only for foreigners. So I could only fight foreigners, and I was looking at the Malaysian guys like, they're easy money, I'd run through them. But I had the tougher path, I felt, because I had to fight all foreigners, do you know what I mean? But I enjoyed it, lad. I weren't asked, I'd fight anyone. I didn't even... do you know what? It was no pressure for me. Because it wasn't what I wanted to be. I didn't want to be a fighter. It was just like, I'm on the run. I'm with my brother, just having a laugh. I'm with Bruno in my corner. No one can beat me. It is what it is. I'm just going out there and I'm just going to do my best. So it was like no pressure, lad. And I was going out there, lad, and just winning every fight after fight after fight, submitting them all. And then like, my MMA coach Aguilar, he's fighting. He was fighting in one championship. He fought Ben Askren in one championship.
Yeah.
So I'm working with him every day. He was putting loads of work into me. Then I'm doing Muay Thai with me Muay Thai coach, and me wrestling coach from Iran, he was there. So I'm learning to wrestle a lot. And I just felt like I was just getting better and better and better. I made it all the way to the final. And then this was like my first ever hurdle in the road, where I've got to the final. It's a fucking big televised show. And then the guy who owns the show contacted us and being like, lad, we've seen all these articles online about you, you know. You're wanted and that, aren't you? At this time, do you ever remember that big screen that used to be in town by Boots, by the back of St. John's?
Oh, yeah.
So at this time, it's around Christmas time, they had this big screen in town. I fucking hate the police for this. They had my face on the screen, and they photoshopped a Christmas hat onto my head. And it said underneath, beware Christmas burglars.
Oh,
with a picture of my face, lad. I'm not a fucking burglar. Never fucking... Do you know what I mean?
Just 24/7 on that screen in town?
It'd slide every now and then to another face, but there was only like 7 faces on it. And lad, all my mates are taking pictures and sending me it.
Well,
going,
come down to earth, that is. Lad,
you know what I mean? You're like, I'm moulding myself into this element on TV.
Person, yeah.
And I weren't really asked. It was the burglary thing. Now, I've gone from being this guy in the gym who everyone likes to now like, whoa.
You're a thief.
I think, lad, as well, I don't know about you, but like, all crimes that you can commit. I think like robbing just a normal person, house robbing, that's
scumbag move.
Scumbag, yeah.
Paedophiles, fucking house robbers, they're the lowest of the low. Even look, you go to jail, murderers on the same level as them. Unless like you've done a bad murder and you murdered the fucking, but if you murdered another gang member, it's part of the life you were living, mate.
Does that hurt you a lot, like the fact that you were labelled a burglar and a thief?
Yeah, that hurt me more than anything, and I still get it. You think I don't get DMs every day saying you're house robbing tramp? Of course I do, lad.
Really, even now?
Yeah, even now I still get it, lad. Fuck. But this is the thing that pissed me off. Now I've come back to the gym, and at the gym owner's like, look, I need to speak to you. Sat me down, and he's like, look, mate, fucking your man's messaged us burglary and all of that one. He's like, we need to resolve the issue. And I'm like, we can't really resolve the issue because I'm not going back. And he's like, well, look, you don't have to go back, but we'll give back what you stole. And I'm like, I never stole nothing, mate. I'm not a thief. And he's like, yeah, I know that. I know you're not a thief. I know you're a good lad now. But like, whatever you took, can't you just give him it back? I'll help you. We'll get money together. And I'm like, lad, you don't get it, mate. It doesn't work like that. I didn't fucking rob no one. But when I spoke to Bruno knew. Like, I told Bruno the proper story. Like, this is what happened. This is what I used to do. And it was hard to convey to people that I'm not a house robber, lad. But they believe what they believe, bro, innit? So this is the maddest part. The guy who owned the gym, I don't like him. I don't get on with him. But at this point, we were on a level, whatever. And I will give him his due for this because he went out of his way and done it. He went, I've got an interview at the British Embassy. Come. And I'm like, nah. if I go to the British Embassy, I'm on UK soil, I'm getting arrested and deported. And he's like, well, I'm going to go on your behalf, can I have your permission? Do what you want, mate. In my mind, I've pulled out the fight. I'm just doing jiu-jitsu now. I'm like, fuck this. There's my block done. I'm never doing MMA, whatever. Lad, he's gone to the British Embassy and he's got a letter from the British Embassy to say that I'm not wanted. And we give it to the fight promotion and the fight promotion's like, the fight's back on.
Really, yeah?
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm just like, lad, I don't even know how he got that. I don't know how he did what he did. Yeah. So I'm just like, sick. Yeah. So I've gone back in there now. I fought this guy from Singapore, lad. He was short, stocky. I've come to the weigh-in, lad, because I've been training so hard up until the very final. The weight was just falling off me, lad. I'm just doing loads of cardio. I wanted to be in the best shape of my life. Because it was the foreign pride division, I didn't get to choose the weight class. There was only one weight class, and it was 70. And I'm probably a featherweight. I'm a 65er. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just do it anyway. Lad, I stepped on the scale, 69 kilos, with me fucking power bank in my pocket and my phone and that.
Power bank.
You know, one of them ones. And lad, he stepped on the scale looking like a crackhead, skinny. And I'm like, what? He's not, what? He looked massive in his pictures and that. The next day, lad, he was like, that. Boom! Must have cut it. Good load of weight, you know what I mean? And lad, fight started. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take him down from the off go, because that's what I do to everyone. I shot on him and he just went, get off me. Like he did. I got his hips, everything, and he just went. There was just a huge size difference. And he was just defending everything. He was winning the fight, like. And I've gone back to the corner, and lad, it was a 5-rounder. We're 2 rounds in, let's say, or no, after the first round, I've gone back to the corner and I'm like, can't take him down. And my MMA coach is like, head movement, change level, you'll get him. So I'm like, what, fuck, this is hard, gone back out there, tried to take him down, he's defending everything and outboxing me and that. So I'm like, fuck it. Last 10 seconds of the round, I jumped guard and brought him into me guard. I'm on the bottom. Now in MMA, you don't do that, lad, because you get your head punched in. But I just thought, fuck it, let me see what his jiu-jitsu is saying. It's only 10 seconds, he's not going to knock me out. I've jumped guard and it was like, lad, it was like putting a triangle on a baby, lad. It was just like, boop, locked it and then started squeezing it. And I was like, oh my God, he's about to tap. There, timer goes and I'm like, I went back to my corner and my MMA coach just goes, what the fuck are you doing? Don't ever jump guard. You're going to make a show of us. And I looked at Bruno and Bruno just goes, and I'm like, I'm listening to Bruno. And I just went back out there, jumped guard, triangled, and fucking just submitted him, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, it was mad. And then I was like, what? I won the whole show, won the belt. On TV while I'm wanted and that.
That is mad.
That is nuts.
Look, crazy. So now,
because it's proper, that's put out to millions of people, isn't it? Like the size of it in the knee.
That is mad. So now at this point, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna get me one championship contract now. I've left the cage. They've offered the contract to all the champions, but not me. So I'm like, wow, mad. So for whatever, I'm not asked. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Then I've gone home. I've looked on me fucking Twitter. My Twitter was going crazy, lad. Yeah, they've released a poster of all the champions except me. So I'm like, wow, look, this is why I love MMA fans. You know, MMA fans are the sickest fans, because I'm about to kick into this promotion now and start going mad. And I'm just reading the comments, and every single comment was like, where's Shem? Where's Shem? Where's the English guy? Why no Scouser? Where's Darren Till's boy? Because they don't know who the fuck, do you know what I mean? So I was just like, go on, boys, lad. I kicked into them and was like, yeah, you just wouldn't put the best guy up there, knobheads, whatever, give it a bit of banter. Lad, they made a new poster immediately and put me up there, do you know what I mean? But look, people don't understand, yeah. Most people would be like, oh, that was a bad move, that. Bro, that was just better marketing. No one was speaking about any other champion, but the champion who wasn't included. So for me, it was just good promo. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to keep doing this MMA thing. It's sick. I made my pro debut. Fought. Lad, it was mad. Made me pro debut. Sanchai was there.
Was he, yeah?
Sanchai was cage side for me pro debut.
The owner?
Nah, he ain't the owner. Do you know who Sanchai is?
No.
Don't you know who Sanchai is?
No.
He's like the best Muay Thai fighter ever. Get him up. So he was there, cage side. Bit mad, like he got paid more than any fighter just to be there. whatever.
Did he?
He come in the ring afterwards and give me me trophy. You know when you win, lad, and you're just full of adrenaline.
And Wayne Rooney fucking giving you the footy trophy.
Yeah, look, that's what it's like. Look, you see in Thailand, he's as big as Wayne Rooney, bro. Bigger.
Yeah.
He's big, lad. He's there giving me trophy. Lad, you know when you're just full of adrenaline, lad, you just chat shit, don't you, bro? I'm calling him out and that. I'm like, lad, you're coming to MMA. Look, no one understands what I'm saying because when you, like normally you have to speak like yes, thank you everyone. Yeah. I've just went full scouse mode. Sanchez just going when I'm like pointing at him and that, he's just like, thank you, yeah, thank you. Made them do a face off and everything, lad. It was weird, bro.
What did you think when you got back to the change? He's like, oh,
lad, I just sat there like,
nah.
Look, me mate who was running the show, he's an American guy, lad. He come in and just laughed his head off at me. He was like, lad, you've lost the plot. He was like, you know, Sanchez, I'd smash your head in MMA anything, because obviously I'm only 1-0 at this point, and I'm like, I know, mate. I was like, fuck it, yeah. Then I had another fight, ended up taking a lightweight fight on short notice, submitted that guy as well, so I'm 2-0 now. I'm just doing my thing, getting ready to fight again. Wanted to carry on, just keep fighting as a pro and build.
Have you mixed up your training at this point now?
Oh yeah, I'm doing everything. I'm doing everything. Obviously, still jiu-jitsu based, still training with Bruno every day, still fully 2 feet in with him. And now I've heard through the grapevine that there's going to be like this new TV show. It's going to be like, have you ever seen Dana White Contender Series? Yeah. It's going to be like that, but there's more of a backstory to the fighters and you get to meet them and whatever. So they were doing a tryout in Bangkok for one championship. So I thought, fuck it, you know what? I'm going to go down to this tryout. They fucking dogged me last time. They didn't get me contract.
So with that's what I thought you were talking about before, sorry. So the owner's Chattery, isn't it? Yeah. So did they just completely cut you out from the contract then? They just said no.
They just never offered me it. It's not no, like maybe they just I just weren't marketable enough. I'm a foreigner.
Yeah.
I didn't have the hugest fan base. Yeah. The show wasn't as big as it is today. So maybe they just thought we've got enough of these guys. Yeah. So I don't think it was a personal thing. I think they just didn't want me at that point. Okay, yeah. I was 0-0 as a professional as well, so it would have been making me pro debut. Because I can say one championship over there is like obviously elite, isn't it? And that's like big money, isn't it? So go from there. And in my mind at this point, I did not care about the UFC. Loved watching it, but I didn't want to go there. And wanted, I can't ever go to America, and I can't fight in Europe. One championship's on my doorstep. Every single one of my training partners are all fighting in one championship. I'm one of these people, lad, if you are around me every day and I can see you pursuing greatness, it'll motivate me to pursue greatness. Like I'll get motivation off those around me rather than going to Instagram and looking at Conor and going, yeah, I need to be where Conor is. Nah, I've got it here, lad. We're all bubbling off each other. So they're all in one. I wanted to be in one. I'm like, this is the path for me. One championship are the only MMA show in the world that do hydration tests. So you are not allowed to dehydrate. You've got to weigh in
when you're making weight
at your natural weight. You can diet, but if you diet too much, it'll fuck you up. So no one wants to diet. Everyone wants to dehydrate. So for me, it was perfect because it's like I believe in health and wellness, lad. I didn't really want to fuck my body doing all crazy weight cuts, and this is the reason why I'm not fighting at featherweight no more. And now I'm coming up to lightweight. Because how can I be this big advocate of health on social media and tell people like you need to train, you need to eat clean, but then lad, I make weight at featherweight, I pass out, I fucking lost my vision for a little bit, you know what I mean? Like it's not good, lad. I shouldn't be doing that to myself.
One championship with trailblazing and that sort of stuff though, weren't they? That's why they were so
first promotion to ever do it.
They looked into like, because I think I read a study as well, they were using before they were cool, I think they even used them in the they were using like DEXA scans, weren't they? So like,
do you know why they started it? Someone died.
Did they? Yeah.
A guy cut 10 kilos. Yeah. I think he was a Japanese guy.
That's fucking hell, lad.
Yeah, and died.
Yeah, because
so now they were like,
it's unregulated.
That's a lot, that isn't it?
It's unregulated for a lot, mate. Even in the UFC, like it's almost celebrated, isn't it? Like the fact that if you can cut a lot of weight, it's celebrated.
Do you look, I used to make featherweight, and as soon as I get off the scale, I'd be like, yes, I've done it.
Yeah.
When I was on Paddy's podcast last week, Paddy was saying like it's impossible for him to stay at that weight. For like more than like he said I'm at that weight for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
Because once the minute you put water back in your body, it's just your body will just cry for it. Basically,
if he dieted to his weight class, wow, He'd look like a smackhead. He has to dehydrate. Same way I have to dehydrate to make 66, lad, or 65.8.
We've said it on the sports show, though, it's the biggest threat to combat sports.
It needs to be changed.
Yeah.
It needs to be changed. It's a stupid old mentality.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in MMA that needs to be changed.
UFC still use the
10-9 scoring system needs
yeah.
to be changed.
Yeah. But they still use the old, just because it looks cooler.
Yeah.
They still use the old scale.
When a digital scale is more accurate.
Yeah, but like people
Charles
like,
Oliveira got robbed, bro.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He should have defended his belt that day.
Like
He
people
did
are
to
trying
me.
to hold the towel, like keep the soul off the scale up. But yeah, there's that part of it that definitely needs. But one championship, trailblazed in that time.
Yeah, so back to one championship. Now I've gone down to this tryout. It was in Bangkok, so I flew over to Bangkok and that. I'm there now at this tryout. There was loads of people there trying out for this show. It was the first episode of One Warrior series. If you look, there's loads of them now. Loads of people have come from it and come stars in one now. So the first thing you got to do, you got to hit pads with your coach. Then the second thing, like there's only 2 couples on the mats at the same time, and there's 4 judges. There was Rich Franklin. Do you know Rich Franklin?
Yeah.
He was UFC champion. He lost the belt to Anderson Silva. There was another one championship fighter, Shannon Warachai, Shannon One Shin. We've all got one chin.
Yeah.
I think he's got 2 or something. And his girlfriend at the time, Rika Ishige, she was a one championship fighter. I think she still is. And there was someone else I can't remember. So they were the coach. They were like the panel of judges watching and picking who's good. So me and another guy at the same time, we both got to hit pads with our coach. Then after hitting pads, they put you with this other person to grapple. And they put me with this guy. He was a foreigner. He weren't an Asian guy. And they're like, Shem, we want you to be on the bottom and we want this guy on top. And I'm like, sound. So I've got on the bottom in the half guard. And then I've said to Rich, underhook or no underhook? Do you want to give him the underhook? And Rich said, yeah, give him the underhook. So I'm saying, mate, take an underhook. And he's like, doesn't speak English, not very well. He's like, what? And I'm like, esgrima, that's Portuguese for underhook. So he's gone, shoo. And lad, someone just told me, like, the way he took the underhook was smooth and that. I'm like, I think this guy's a black belt. He's defo a jiu-jitsu guy. At this point, I'm thinking, yeah, cauliflower ears, short and stocky, the way he took the underhook. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to play jiu-jitsu. Where normally, in the half guard, I would have went back to the closed guard and started attacking. I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. As soon as they say go, I'm going to scramble up to my feet, explode as much as I can and disengage. They've said go, bam, I'm up. And he's like, you bastard. So I'm like, what's next? Like, I'm confident, me lad. I'm just like bossing the gap, like, what do you want me to do now, Rich lad? That, yeah, go on, son. Nice
Rich
one.
Lad.
So see, I am, lad. So I'm down, boom, back in the half guard. Give him the underhook again. Go, boom, popped up, escaped. I'm like, yes. I'm like, do you want me on top now, Rich? He's like, yeah, go on, yeah, get on top. I've took the underhook. Now I knew in my mind, I exploded like crazy to get up. So now he's gonna do the same thing. So I'm like, I'm not gonna play into that. When he does, I'm gonna like try and snap the front headlock down or attack a guillotine. And he did exactly what I thought he'd do. Left his neck on the way up, and I just went boom, high elbow guillotine, tapped him. I was like, yes, go on. Same position again, boom, tapped him. When he jumped up, he started trying to punch me in that. And I'm just like, whoop, whoop, whoop. And then ran up, and then like I did like a little run away, do you know what I mean? And I'm just like, and he's like, no, again, no, again, no, again. And Rich is like, mate, we've seen what we needed to see.
Wow.
It's done now, mate, go back. And he's like, no, please, one more chance, please, one more. He's calmed down, whatever. I just fucking squidded off. Yeah. He's calmed down, he's come over. And he's like, thank you, brother. Yeah, good stuff. I didn't mean to, I just come here to train hard. I'm like, yeah, of course, man. I get it, bro. Fucking hell, lad. And he's like, where you from? I'm like, I'm from England, lad. He's like, oh, cool. I'm from Brazil. I'm like, I thought you was, lad. Yeah, man. He's like, you black belt? And I'm like, I'm a blue belt, me, you know, bro. And his face just dropped. He's just looking at me like,
don't tell anyone about this.
I'm like, why? What belt are you? He's like, I'm a 3rd degree black belt.
My God.
I'm like, wow, mad.
So, hell, lad.
Afterwards,
confident that must have given you.
Yeah.
Walking on water,
yeah. I think that's what it is, though. You know, in this scenario, you can either rise to the occasion or the occasion can get the better of you. And I've been in a situation where the occasion's got the better of me, and that was in Abu Dhabi. So I was like, I never wanted to do that again. I never wanted to put that pressure on myself again. So I just come in now. In everything I do, I'm confident, bro. Like, I don't know if it's part of my character or I don't know what it is, bro. But I just felt like I was more confident than him, and that maybe helped me use my tools better than him. Maybe he's better than me. Maybe if we go to the gym, he submit me 100 times. But if you can't,
in that moment,
if you can't do it under the lights, then it doesn't mean anything in this game.
Yeah, there's that old adage, isn't there, especially in boxing, about like gym fighters and stuff like that. But as soon as you you get to the ring, it just doesn't translate.
I know guys who, I'm not going to name no names, but you go to the gym and you watch them get beat up, and you're like, lad, he's getting smashed by beginners and that. And then they go to the fight on the world stage in front of fucking hundreds of thousands of people, and I'm like, where they're going, it's a tough one, he's not going to beat this guy, he's fighting so-and-so, and go out there and knock him out in the first round.
I think the same in like football. I think I remember hearing rumour like Dietmar Hamann used to be like shite in training.
Smoking bifters.
Yeah, and like smoking and had a pint midweek, and then he'd always be the first name in the team sheet. Don't you know what I mean?
It's different. It's definitely what you say. It's definitely a mentality thing, because
I think it is.
It's like it's the fight or flight thing. When you're in a gym, you're like, you're good friends with the people you're in there with. Yeah, it's competitive or whatever, but it's not like
you don't want to hurt no one.
He's just trying to take me head off.
Yeah.
But when you're in that
some people do.
Yeah.
Some people don't know any different though. That's just their style.
But when you're in that moment or whatever, or when the cage door closes, or the ref says fighting boxing or whatever, it is fight or flight, isn't it? It's like either I'm either going forward or
I've seen the opposite. I've seen guys who are world class, and I'm like, lad, this guy will smash me 10 times out of 10, and then you go and watch them fight, and they're getting beat by shit guys who you know from the scene, and then you look at the record and they're like 0-7, and you're like, oh, am I getting smashed every day by a guy who's 0-7? Some people just can't do it. It's not for them under the lights. Do you know what I mean?
It's like that. Some people made loads of money from being really good sparring partners, though, to be fair, in boxing. Like, if you
good on them. You don't really get that in MMA, sadly.
But like especially in like when Klitschko was putting camps together, or Joshua does it now.
Yeah.
You can go in, you can get paid right few quid each week just to be a sparring partner.
Yeah.
So what happened? Then you obviously have this lad off.
Yeah. So now I've gone back to the hotel, and I'm just waiting for waiting back to the hotel. I've gone straight backstage. They've come over to me and they're like, look, we like you and we want to fucking give you the contract. I've got a picture here now, I'll show you, of me and Rich Franklin and that.
Oh, yeah.
You look so young.
Yeah, proper young.
Franklin's in good shape, to be fair.
Yeah, no, do you know what? He's a little unit, you know. He was telling me he still trains and that. So anyway, they come backstage and that, and they're like, we like you. They only give 3 contracts out. They give one to me, one to a Thai girl, and one to a Filipino guy. The Thai girl was actually, Stamp Fairtex. So she got the contract when I did. She's gone on to be the kickboxing world champion, the Muay Thai world champion, and MMA Grand Prix world champion in one championship. So she's probably a millionaire now. She's got dough, like. But when I was there, she was there, and she was just like no one, and I was no one. Do you know what I mean? So they're like, look, lad, after here, we're all going for food. No, tomorrow, we're all going for food. We want you there, and we want to film some content. So you just chill, we have food, we all have a little laugh, and it'll be on the series, because they filmed everything like while we were training. It'll be on the series. So I'm like, sound, we've gone for food, got there now, Stamp's there, here and here team, the Filipino kids there, whatever. They're a bit like reserved, especially like she's a Thai girl, Thais are a bit like respectful and that. And me, I'm just like, what's happening, Rich, lad? You know, like, I'm like, yeah, lad, I saved you the seat, come here. me and Rich, look, I don't know why, but he loved me. Lad, he loved me, you know.
Because of that, lad.
Well, I'm asking him all mad questions and that, and then, lad, this was the craziest thing. He was asking me shit. He was like, so where'd you grow up? What happened? Wow. And he was like, lad, you remind me of my best mate, you know. And he was telling me about his mate, what's his name? I fucking forgot his name. Tarzan, his name is his MMA name. He fought my mate in one championship, lad. They had a fucking war. I only started watching that guy because Rich spoke about him. He was like, lad, you've got jiu-jitsu, you remind me of me mate, lad. You've got a crazy style like him and a crazy stand-up like him. So I was like, wow, me and Rich are vibing, lad. And you know us, lad, we're cheeky, lad. Like, I'm like, yeah, gives 2 of these, gives 3 of these, a big thing, and put it on Rich's bill. And lad, I'm just vibing with them, and everyone else is just like, Lad, me and Rich must have spoke for about a good 25-30 minutes till he switched the cameras off and they come over and they were like, Rich, do us a favour, mate. Just have a little word with them as well, just so we can get some footage in. And I'm like, fucking hell, Rich, lad, do you know what? Forgot we were even being filmed, lad. I was like, go on, do your thing. And I'm like, holding me fucking tongue now so they can have a little go. Lad, he was asking me questions and I was just being honest, bro. Like, I've got no filter, I won't lie.
Yeah.
Like, I told him, like, yeah, this is what I used to do. This is who I used to be. And then I found martial arts, Bruno, this, meet story. And he was just like, what? Nah, I don't believe you, lad. And I was like, lad, look, showing him things, telling him things. And he's just like, wow. Afterwards, everything's done. We're all going home and that. He's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going back to the hotel to smoke a few joints and that. And he's like, nah, you're not. You're coming with me. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you're coming to my hotel. So I was like, come ahead then. I've gone back to the hotel with Rich and that. He's put this fucking ring light up, put the camera in, sat me down, fucking got all these mics, whatever, all the people there. And you know when that ring light's in your face, you can't see nothing. You can't see the room. But there was loads of people, all the One Championship staff in the room. And he's like, look, what you just told me at dinner, say it again. So I just told him my story, like where I'm from, what I've been through, my family life, my ma, Bruno, coming up, what I like, jiu-jitsu. And lad, at the end, lad, I'm just going on, lad. At the end, they've switched the camera off, lad, and I've just looked around, lad, and everyone's crying, bro. Oh. I'm just like, wow.
Never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I'm like, no. Wow, this is mad, this. And look, Rich is like, lad, I'm going to make you a star. This is what he was telling me, bro. He's like, you are going to be the champion in One Championship. I am going to make you a star. He's like, you can already fight. So, look, this is the plan. You're going to fight a few guys you can beat. Then you're going to have a big test. Then if you come through the big test, you get fight for the title. And I'm just like, lad, I'm 2-0. Fucking fighting for shit money. Thinking like, what? But they're like, look, we need you to sign this non-disclosure agreement and sign this contract and that. You can't discuss how much you're making. And I was like, I'm making more than the other ones that you signed. And Richard's like, yeah, you're right, but shut up. Go on, sign it. So I'm like, go on, I'll sign it. The lad, like, big contract, didn't have a clue what it was. But I'm thinking, fucking, I'm on the run anyway, lad.
That's the massive thing. That like Rich found the UFC Hall of Famer, like all these people are putting all, and is that still in the back of your, like, I'm no.
Do you know what?
Be a day away from getting recalled.
Do you know what, lad? It weren't nothing.
Nah.
Honestly, it was just like, when you speak to him, he's just another guy.
Yeah.
So it was just like.
No, I mean, it's just that, like, obviously when people are on, that, even when you were doing a jiu-jitsu tournament, for example, when it's like, say, a lower level, but now all these, like, as I say, UFC Hall of Famer, all the staff are there and stuff like that, you're now operating on a whole new level, aren't you, professionally?
Yeah.
And it's just...
I'd had a glimpse of it before because all of the lads were with One Championship.
Yeah.
So all the lads had been like bringing videographers to the gym, people coming to film them, and on their highlights on the One Championship, I'd be in the film rolling with them or sparring with them. So I kind of knew the team already from that kind of. So they'd be like, oh look, there's Aguilan's mate, or oh look, there's Kian. So it was kind of like we're all on the same scene. So it weren't uncomfortable. It weren't my first ever step into that world, kind of. Plus, I'd already been on that TV show before, and that TV show was linked with these, so I was comfortable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not a shy person anyway. I don't really get shy. And I've always said this, lad. Like, the life that I've come from to what I do now, this is easy.
I'm
like,
surprised.
Yeah, the transition was like. Don't get me wrong. Fighting's hard.
Yeah,
and it's taxing on the body, and there's days where you don't want to do it, and you got to push yourself to do it, but. I had no choice before. Like, you couldn't just wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm not going to make any money today.
Yeah.
Because you don't eat, lad, or your graph phone fucking goes dead. So I was doing what I was doing. Now I'm doing something I actually enjoy, and it's easier. So I was like, lad, this is. I get in the cage and I don't be like, oh, I'm fighting.
It's like you've already won, haven't you? So this thing is like, boss, whatever. So I'm already winning. So
now I've come back to Malaysia.
Did you sign the contract, did you?
Yeah, I signed it. It's like, fuck this, whatever. I didn't even read it. I just seen how much money it was and went, yeah, go on, I'm there. Got back to Malaysia now, vibing, everything's good, whatever. Get a phone call. Hello. We've seen all the articles online and we've been in touch with Merseyside Police. Next hurdle. They were like, we're going to have to terminate your contract, mate. And this is the reason why now I don't hate them. They done whatever they had to do. That was best for their brand and best for them. But the thing that I don't like what they done was they had a copy of my passport and they sent it to Merseyside Police, and they told me over the phone, they were like, we've sent your passport to the police. I said, why have you done that, mate? And he went, well, they didn't say we were obligated to, but they asked for it. So if you weren't obligated to do it, why did you fucking do it, bro? Why would you do that to me, mate? And then what, you're gonna get me fucking blocked from travelling places, mate? What are you doing? You're gonna get me passport, fucking, I'll go to travel somewhere and it'll get took. I'm like, why have you done that, mate? So that half pissed me off, but the fact that they dropped me, I get it. Lad, you gotta do what's best for you in this life. What could they have done? Brought me on the show, had me fighting
Even
there.
despite you telling them the story though.
No, you're gonna. Yeah.
I didn't tell them that bad, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I didn't say, oh, I'm wanted by the way, me lads.
If anyone in here works for the police,
Yeah, can you raise your hand now? I just didn't include that bit. So now this is where everything started to fall apart, because my gym owner, this is why I was saying I don't really like him, because at this point now my gym owner's like come to us, like I think I fought another time. Yeah, I think I fought once or twice after that, like straight away back to back. And then my gym owners come one day like, look mate, you wanted one championship, don't ever want to sign you. So if one championship don't want you, you can't train here no more. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I can't be arsed with it no more, lad, you gotta leave. And just kick me out the gym, bro.
I think just the tough thing there is because obviously one championship's hard for people on this side of the world because we don't really have access to watching the shows all the time and stuff, but over there it's the ultimate, isn't it? It's like the whole scene revolves around it. So
the way I looked at it though, me, like I'd formed like a proper bond with my coaches and that. I'm living in this country where I don't fucking know anyone. I just come to the gym every day.
It's your family, innit?
Yeah, I'd been out of trouble, never been in trouble once since I'd left England. I'd really changed my life. I'm not about that life anymore. He knew that as well. He knew, because he'd see how hard I was working. Okay, you don't want to sponsor me, don't sponsor me, I'll pay. I even said that, I'll just pay membership then. It's not an option. You can't. You gotta go. So now I'm in Malaysia, gymless. Can't ever train with Bruno again, and no other gym in that country could facilitate us. I would have had to left. In the beginning, my mate, shout out to Simon, lad, the fucking soundest guy ever, he give his family's building, like he's got an office building, and put mats in there and was letting us train in there. And it wasn't the same, because like the lads in the gym, they're all going and training hard in the morning with Bruno, whatever, and then after their training's done, they're coming now to help me. Like they're tired, the energy's down, they just want to go home and refuel. So then I was like, it's not the same, boys. And through the grapevine, the gym owner must have heard about this, and he told all of them, anyone who's training with Shem, you're getting kicked out the gym. So now, these people have all got families. I don't want to affect them. They can't earn money, and then they've got to go back to the favela or something, lad, and live a shit quality of life. I don't know, maybe what all of them were doing. But some of them are from Iran, some of them are from America, some of them are from Brazil, some of them
impacting their life.
Yeah,
through,
it's not fair. So I just told them then at that point, like, don't worry about me, just carry on, boys. We're still family, lad. It is what it is. So then I had a fight coming up on Prebellum in Dubai. So I had to make a choice then. Do a journeyman thing and just hit the bag every day in Malaysia and have nowhere to train, or do we just move on? So I was like, do you know what? I'm going to go and do the camp in Thailand. My mate was out there, Ben Royal. He messaged me and said, come to Phuket top team. To be a spot for me and that I can train and that. It's boss there, whatever. So I went over to train with Ben and them lads. I really enjoyed it. It was good. I did the camp for Dubai. Flew over to Dubai. And on the show, Darren Till was there. He was cage side. And I ended up getting a knockout in the second round. I knocked the guy out with a knee to the face. And it was like after that's when it like really blew up. Took a little picture with Darren afterwards, and that.
I think, yeah.
People are like, wow, who's this next scouser coming up? At this point I'm like 5-0 or something as a professional. My social media was bubbling. So then it was like, I need to make a real career decision here. I've got nowhere to train. I was loving Thailand, don't get me wrong, but at the same time it was like I nearly hadn't seen my family now at this point for like 7-8 years. I was a bit homesick and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to see my ma, so I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go to Europe, you know. I'm just going to stay out of England though. So I was like, where can I go that's closest to Liverpool, where the people are like Scousers? It's Ireland, innit? Fucking I'm going to Ireland, boys. In my mind, yeah, I didn't know no one in Ireland. I didn't know nothing about Ireland, but I knew McGregor's gym. So in my mind, I'm like, yeah, McGregor's gym's here, I'm going to go and train with all them, they're all savages and that, I'll go over there, it'll be sick. Went over there, was training in McGregor's gym. Went over there, as soon as I got there, 2 days later, lockdown happened.
Fucking
COVID.
hell.
Was it right at the start of the pandemic?
Yeah, 2 days after COVID started, lockdown. Didn't know anyone, didn't know no cunts. Luckily, through a mutual friend, me mate put me on to the Cian Cowley's dad, shout out to them, what's happening boys? And they put me up in his mate's gaff. I was staying with them, they were taking me to the boxing gym, hitting pads and that, doing what we could throughout the lockdown. Everything opened up then and I started training in SBG. And it's crazy, like for me this was like a real eye-opener, that because I'd only ever trained in Asia, I thought like the level is there and I'm there in my mind, do you know what I mean? And then I'm going there and I'm on the mats with like your Cian Cowleys, your Kiefer Crosby's, your James Gallagher's. Like when you look at them from the outside, they're all doing big things on Bellator, whatever, or maybe some UFC guys there, John Kavanagh, like you see him in Connor's corner. So I'm thinking like, man, I'm gonna get slaughtered every day. And then I was going to the gym, lad, and I'm just as good as them. Like I was putting work on.
I think that's like the social media production value.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
It's like what I said before though, like because we don't have access to, like, well, you do if you really dig for it, but you don't really have access in your face the way you have, you know, Bellator, Cage Warriors, UFC, for the Asian side of the game. So like people just think, oh, Europe's the hotbed, you know, America's the hotbed. That's what
I think Europeans get more opportunities by far.
100%.
And maybe there's some fucking serious killers out there, some Kazakhstan guys, some Kyrgyz guys, some Uzbek guys, some Dagestanis, but they don't really speak English. They don't have maybe the hugest.
Maybe.
That's why Habib. That's why Habib learns English.
And look what he's doing now with Eagle. Look, this is going to start bringing all these guys onto a bigger stage. They'll become a star on that show, and then the UFC will come and take them. Where UFC doesn't want to take them from where they are now, because they go,
we didn't make it.
People like Kamzat now are changing the dynamic for these guys to come through, and so they should, like, because it should be based on your skill set, not on how good looking are you, what passport do you hold, how well does he speak. Forget all that. We're fucking trying to kill each other in a cage.
For years and years it was pure, well, you know, a lot of it was English language, wasn't it? If you could speak English then you were great. It's like, you know, you compare like what you're saying, Shavkat earlier, he doesn't really speak that good English, he's trying, but Hamzat speaks broken English that translates really cool, so like he just gets the big massive push, whereas in reality, you know, there's not much disparity between them, but it is all just being able to talk.
So now I'm in SBG, was enjoying it there, I was training, was getting good rounds with the guys, a lot of people my size. Like in Asia I was mostly training with bigger guys, like most of my training partners were bigger than me, so now I'm coming and training with guys my size and I'm feeling like, fucking hell, this is well better this. And then one day, lad, I just come to the gym and John Kavanagh's like, I need to speak to you in the office, mate. I walked in the office and there's my picture on the screen, my mugshot, lad. And he went, tell me. Now, John isn't one of us, lad. He's not from the streets. He speaks well.
Yeah, I've read his book actually.
Yeah, you can tell he
was educated and stuff.
Yeah, he's an educated guy. So I think maybe some of the things that I said, maybe he just couldn't understand them. Yeah. Like, I did used to do this, John, but now I'm this. Well, you've done it. You're a criminal. Nah. And he just said, look, you know who I am, and you know who I coach, and that's why I can't have you here. And he kicked me out, bro. And then I'm like, in Ireland, don't know no cunt, got no gym to train at, and I'm just scratching my head like, what? And this is when, like, me mate who put me in touch with Cian and them, who was a mutual friend, I spoke back to him. His name's Andros. Shout out Andros. Do too many shout outs here.
They love him, mate.
Can I ask you, lads, on before you move on to like the kind of next gym you train with the lads, is there a bit of you that feels like a bit like how to describe it, like a bit bitter and a bit like kind of, fucking hell, this isn't fair, or you're a bit more like, I probably deserve that for the shit I've done? Where are you on it, like?
See,
it's a great question.
Yeah, there's times in my life where it's hit me hard and it's been like, it's either going to break me or it's going to motivate me. And every single one of these, I never sat down once and cried. I never once sat down and thought, I don't know what to do. It just lit a fire in me where it's like, okay, you don't want me. You will tomorrow. You will next week. Let me show you, mate. You want to know me next week. and I just used it as fire to motivate me. And maybe if I would have had an easy path, maybe I'd be a journeyman, lad. Or maybe I would have done 3 fights and went, I'm getting clout anyway, I'm getting sponsors, I'm not asked about these knobs. But the fact that I got doors shut on me was just like, I need to kick these doors down, and it just fueled me, lad.
When you get sort of SPG say, you can't train here anymore, I know you do go to one more gym, but are you, even at this point, are you thinking might have to face up to the inevitable soon? I've
always told myself, when I take my first loss, I'm going to hand myself in anyway. So if I would have lost my first amateur fight, I would have handed myself in.
So at this point, have you never been beaten?
No, I was undefeated. 5-0 was professional, 4-0 was amateur. Probably had about 150 jiu-jitsu matches. Probably only lost 3 of them. It was just on a tear, lad. It was just confident through the roof, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's crazy, it's like 2 lives, right?
Yeah, and it's like I'm doing all these things, but I'm getting every door shut on me.
That's what I am, that's interesting. It'd be interesting to see like viewers and people on Patreon and comments and stuff, because I can imagine like meeting you now and like the vibe and your whole character. I'm definitely in a camp of like, feel sorry for him when he's getting the door shut in his face. And I'm just wondering if the people like maybe like that John Kavanagh who may be listening, watching, thinking, it'd be interesting.
I've had it both sides. I've had people message me on, like, I've got a bit of a following. I have people message me and say, I've heard your story, lad, you don't deserve it. And then I have people message me off real profiles with the fucking pages on it and said, well, you did what you did, so you deserve it.
How do you feel about what you've done? Like, I know you, not the jail stuff, but in terms of like, you said yourself you were involved in stuff. Is there a part of you that thinks it's a bit of karma? Like,
no animosity to anyone, no animosity to the universe, nothing. Like, what I've been through is the path that I needed to go down to take me where I am today. I believe every single thing happens for a reason. Look at the situation I'm in now. I'm living my dream. Like, you couldn't give me a job now and I'd go on, I'll swap. You could not take me out of this city and put me in fucking Dubai, Miami, wherever. I don't give a fuck. I'm
Every
happy.
boat's different, isn't it?
I've been watching this scene for so long, lad.
It's about purpose, innit? Like that journey you've been on to give you this purpose where you are now.
10 years I've been stuck on the sideline watching Liverpool going, wow, Paddy, Molly. Even amateur guys, I've been watching amateur guys who probably no one even cares about going, lad, he's good, he's got a skill set, I'd love to train with him. Or they don't realise how good they've got it. They're fighting on shows in Liverpool and the Olympia, and they probably go, oh, it's only the Olympia, it's shit. And I'm going, I'd love to fight in Liverpool, it's my fucking dream. And that's why this fight for me is the biggest fight of my life. I've fought in Dubai in big 6 stadiums with fucking loads of people. I've fought in Taiwan in big huge stadiums, main evented. Doesn't mean nothing's compared to this. It could be in someone's boxing room, lad, with 5 people watching, but it's in Liverpool, lad. It means well more to me, well more.
So actually,
I was going to say yes.
So you move on to one more team, don't you, in Ireland, Dublin?
So I spoke to my mate Andros, and I'm like, lad, fucking got kicked out by them and that, I've got nowhere to go. And he's like, lad, I've been telling you about this guy anyway, Craig. Go and train with him, lad. And I'm like, yeah, I need to anyway. And I met the guy through social media, Dennis, through the lockdown. And he just met me in a park one day, because we had nowhere to train because it was lockdown. And he just met me in a park and did jiu-jitsu with me. And afterwards he was like, I train with Craig and that, me, why don't you come? So it just like slotted in. It was like, yeah, this is where I need to go. So I just went down there, lad. And lad, I didn't want to be how I was at SBG and not say nothing and then get kicked out. Because I've been kicked out of fucking me old gym in Malaysia, then now kicked out of here. So I thought, I'm not going through that again, lad. I fucking can't be arsed. It's fucking wrecks your head, lad. So I'm like, I'm just going to be straightforward now. So I told them, like, look, Collie, lad, fucking, don't do that no more. But I used to be this, I used to do that. I was I'm wanted, blah blah blah. And Collie was just like, yeah, you're grand. He was like, lad,
such an Irish flavour.
Yeah, you're grand. Don't worry about it. He's like, lad, we're all from fucking council estates. We got all types of mad cunts in here, lad. But when they come in here, there's none of that. You leave that at the door. If you're in here to train. And not only that, he was like, lad, where do you think all these kids in kids class are from, lad? They're all from council estates. If they come in here and they see you doing well and they see you don't want to do that anymore, they'll want to be like you, lad, rather than go out and fucking smoke weed and fucking sell drugs and whatever. So I'm like, sweet, nice one, Collie. So then I was just training with Craig and Collie and all the lads down at Dublin Combat Academy. And lad, it was just the gym for me, lad. It was just a proper vibe. The only thing I can say is it's a Muay Thai gym. So I didn't get much wrestling. I didn't get much jiu-jitsu, but maybe that's what I needed at that time, because I'm just a jiu-jitsu guy. Like, I used to fight strikers and go, I'm not striking, I'm only going to grapple. And then I used to fight grapplers and go, I've got enough striking to hit them, I'll defend and strike. Now I'm going in there going, I'll strike with strikers, I don't care to grapple with grapplers from before anyway. So I feel like it gave me a bit of a more rounded skill set, because I was just only doing Muay Thai every day. Working with them for so long, like I've trained in so many gyms, like in all over different parts of Asia, a few different parts of Europe. I have never ever met a guy like Craig Coakley when it comes to striking. Like, I've been in Thailand with all the Thai guys. He's special, like he's different. He can box, like guys from the Irish fucking boxing national team come to get boxing rounds with him.
Really, yeah.
And he pieces them all up.
Oh.
He puts them all on their ass. And he's not a boxer, he's a Muay Thai guy. Like, you'd be sparring with him in sparring, and he'd be like, take me down if you want. And I'd be like, are you sure? Take him down, he pop back up. And you're like, have you done MMA before? Have you wrestled? No. He's just like a freak of nature or something, lad. He's a machine.
Born to do it.
Yeah, he's a machine. He can fight from orthodox, he can fight from southpaw. Like, you spar with him, and it's like, he gives you a look. Maybe he's working something specific, and as soon as you start to figure out what he's doing, he's not doing it anymore. He's doing something else, and you're like, hold on a minute, I'm trying to slip off but now he's still catching me out. And then you start to figure out what he's doing. That, like, he's just got so many different. It's like you're fighting 10 different people, bro. Yeah. But he can just change character every time.
You want all the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Same with, like,
yeah.
All that.
I think that's why you're definitely in the camp. Like, my first passion was boxing, but like now MMA as well. Over the years, but I think that's why it's evolving so fast, because there's no, like, once you think you've clocked the game, there's something else. Do you know what I mean? You look at Floyd Mayweather or something, in my opinion, you know, recently, you can go back, they clocked the game because he understood how to negate every other opponent and every other style. But in MMA, you can't do it, because the minute you round,
you'll meet someone.
Yeah,
you'll meet someone who cleans your clock.
Yeah, and it's just, I think that's why it's growing so fast.
Yeah.
It's so competitive.
Boxing, how many punches is there?
Yeah.
What, 8 punches?
Yeah.
You can throw every punch.
It's just different.
Maybe there's different variations of the
yeah.
punches. Forget MMA, just look at one aspect of MMA. Wrestling.
Yeah.
How many takedowns is there?
Yeah.
Thousands. Jiu-jitsu, how many moves is there? Hundreds of thousands.
It's different
It's
styles of
never
wrestling.
ending. And even then, someone invents a new move that you've never seen before. And someone invents a new guard. Someone invents a new...
It's like Stevie Ray this weekend. He I don't know what, he submitted Pettis in the PFL with, I think they called it in the end like an inverted twister or something, but
class.
No one had ever really seen it. But
I've seen him do that before though. I think he done it in Polaris. Look, class. But this is he's another one. Why is he not a bigger star than he is?
Yeah, because he's a quiet guy. And
because he's just a humble, normal guy. He doesn't post much on social media.
He fought Paddy in Polaris, didn't he?
Yeah.
He submitted Paddy in
I'm like this with my man as well. What's his name? Paul Daly. Why isn't Paul Daly made
Paul Craig?
No, Paul Daly.
Like the
he's retired.
Bellator,
He's retired.
Yeah.
But lad, why isn't he a millionaire? A multi-millionaire?
He come into MMA too early, because some of his fights, like they just.
But what about MVP?
Fighting, I know, yeah.
MVP's on the same kind of time period.
Yeah.
Why isn't he where? Lad, I just don't get it, bro. I just don't get it, man.
But I guess like Paul Daly and that, they were doing MMA when it was called cage fighting, or when it was sponsored by Nuts magazine, and it was all just taken as a bit of a joke. Do you know what I mean? But like,
he's a savage,
if you could put them now when it's like, you know, it's celebrated almost, or you know, you have all the everything that goes with it, YouTube channels and that, these people would be millionaires. Yeah, it's crazy, but lucky. Well, you're not lucky, but you're in the.
No, I am lucky, lad. I am lucky. I'll say it. I am lucky, because it would have been 10 years ago, lad. I wouldn't have been able to do what I'm doing, especially when I was wanted.
So when you said then you'd kind of hand yourself in after your first loss, obviously training with these new guys now, obviously a fight comes up. Yeah,
I got a title fight for a world title. It was up in Belfast, and it was like, we knew the risk, because you're stepping into UK. I don't like to call it the UK, but on paper it's the UK. It's still Ireland to me. You're stepping into the UK, so if police PNC me, I'm getting arrested. If any wind that I'm going to be there, I'm getting arrested. But I just said, you know what? If that's meant to be, it's meant to be. I promoted it like normal, lad. I didn't give a fuck. I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to show up and I'm going to fight, lad. It was during COVID, no crowd, best thing ever. Like, fighting with no crowd was different, and I loved it. Do you know what it was like? when the announcer calls your name and the crowd goes mad and that, you get a bit of like, and it gives you like, oh, come on then, let's fucking... Lad, I was just like, wow, look at them little drops on the ceiling there. Wow, let me count, 1, 2, 3. Oh, we going? Come on then, lad. It was just a sparring session, and my coach was there. It was vocal. I could hear everything he was saying. Shem jab, bink, I'd throw it. Shem left kick, boom, I'd throw it. Where the crowd's there, sometimes you miss a few instructions, or you look at your corner like, if you're in a position where you can't hit you look at your corner like. I didn't have to. I just felt like, yeah, this is nice. Yeah, I ended up choking the guy out, taking his back, choking him out, and won the title. Mad.
That is mad, love.
Yeah.
Was you kind of, people on that circuit and stuff kind of knew you were fucking, maybe, was you the underdog in it? I mean, was it a big surprise?
I don't think I was the underdog for once.
Was
Yeah, I don't think I was, no. I think people knew, like, yeah, like, he's the real deal now.
You've kind of come under the radar, but not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
In the circles you haven't.
This guy's only ever competed maybe on his scene. I've competed on many scenes, then come to his scene. So maybe he's got more experience, but I've got more experience, if that makes sense.
Your rise is strange though, because I heard about you just through speaking to people about MMA before I'd even knew what you looked like.
Yeah.
Like your name was, I knew your name before I knew what you looked like. It was only when I started following your Instagram, I was like, fucking hell, that's him. That's what he looks like.
It's mad. I hear stories about myself from people, and I'm like, don't know where he heard that one. That one wasn't true. Some of them are though. But yeah, we've gone back to Dublin now. Fucking shout out to Collie. Fucking smashed it, won the title. And then it's like, do you want to defend your belt? Not really, but go on, we will. So yeah, I had the title defence in Belfast, and this is when I kind of half knew something was up, because I'm on the social media and all these mad fake profiles now were just like, it's like people were just creating loads of them. Loads. And they were all kicking in under the comments. He's a criminal. He's going to Belfast for his next fight. Police are going to be there. I've rang police. Boom, boom, boom. Like, even on my normal pictures, I had to restrict all profiles and delete comments, and lad, it was fucking crazy. So I thought, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if I get there and I get nicked. And I got there, I fucking took my first ever loss. I fought someone from SBG as well.
I watched that fight last night, actually.
Yeah.
Do you think, lads, subconsciously it was because all this was on your mind? And
it's definitely in the back of your mind. Definitely in the back of your mind, yeah.
Can't go into them fights with baggage. Like, you just can't, can you? Like,
yeah. I'd be fucking shit scared enough going into a fight anyway. Yeah. But then knowing you're thinking, could get nicked here, there's all these people saying that police are going to be there. You know, you're fighting against your, like, your old gym, your old people, maybe you're not, all that shit in your head. I mean, that can't be good.
Yeah, it was a bit mad. Like, my ma was there as well. First ever fight she come to. I think it was an early stoppage for the title fight. I think he should have let it go on. I was still conscious. He did catch me with a good one. I'm not going to say he never caught me with a good one. I think the weight cut played a good part as well.
I was thinking that last night when I watched it. He looked really like drawn.
Felt a bit heavy and sluggish. Maybe I didn't respect my opponent enough because I trained with him. I thought I'd just do what I do to him in training. But it's not the same.
What's that feeling going against someone you knew?
I really asked. Like, it was a bit mad at first, because it was like we're all in a group together on Instagram, and he's in the group. So we're all in the group chatting shit every day and that, even though I'm not in SBG anymore. Because he used to come to Dublin Combat Academy and do striking there, so I'd still train with him even when I got kicked out. So mad. So we're in the group chatting shit every day, posting memes and that, and slagging each other off and that. And then my manager calls me like, "You're fighting Nathan Kelly?" And I'm like, "Wow, that's mad. He's got the same name as Nathan." Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, "Hold on a minute. Did you just say he's Irish?" "Nah, there's not two Nathan Kellys." I'm like, "Send me his topology." And then I looked, and it was him. And I'm like, we're in the group, he hasn't even said nothing. So I'm like in the group chatting shit and that to see if he'd bring it up, and he never brought it up. So I was like, wow, mad. But eventually he reached out and was like, "It's nothing personal, you can't get a fight, I can't get a fight, I'm happy to fight you." And I was just like, yeah, do what's best for your career, lad. I ain't asked, I'm not going to hate you for it. And it's probably the best thing that ever happened to him, lad, because he went to Bellator after that.
Yeah. I think I looked last night. I think he went to Bellator for one fight, didn't he? And he's popped back. And
Don't know why they never give him another fucking...
No.
Don't know.
Yeah,
Bellator's a mad fucking show, lad.
Yeah, Bellator is like... So it's like the championship of
Yeah.
But
They won't like that one.
no, they won't. But like they just run things.
Do you know what it
like
is?
Cage Warriors.
No. Bellator America is good.
Yeah.
Bellator Europe.
Yeah. They just haven't put they haven't been able to implement the same way they did it in America. But I think it's because of the likes of Cage Warriors who run.
Cage Warriors better than Bellator Europe.
Really
I'll say
shows, so fighters from Europe will go, well, for example, if I go to Cage Warriors and put a run together,
I'm going
Graham
UFC.
Boylan who runs it, he can get me in the UFC, or Paddy was champion there when Chris Fishgold was champion there when Molly went. Do you know what I mean?
You can go to Bellator Europe and make your debut. Oh no, you can't do that in the UFC, lad.
No.
And then you want to compare it to the UFC.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
It's like people like James Gallagher, who you said he really bought into it, didn't he? And it's probably to his detriment now.
Do you reckon?
No, but like
I thought he's done well there.
No, he did well in Bellator, but he really signed to them, didn't he? And he was like, he was.
They thought they were
tried
getting the
to
next
get
Conor McGregor.
Like he's got like similar tattoos and stuff, hasn't he? And all that stuff. They tried to like.
Do you know
really
what?
Get behind
I'm
him.
going to say one thing about him, lad. Yeah. Do you know when you look from the outside?
Yeah.
Like he's brash. He talks shit on the mic. Lad, when I went there and met him, I thought me and him weren't going to get on. Lad, he's the nicest guy ever. He does not talk any shit. Proper humble. After training, he's like, can you show me that? Oh, look, I like to do this and that. And I was just like, what? Where's that guy on the telly?
I remember thinking that. I remember watching.
People are just trying to sell themselves, bro, to make money. And I get it, lad, because if you don't, you'll end up being a no one, bro. And then you get fed to 3 killers. You lose 3 fights in a row, and then the world doesn't want to know you
I
anymore.
remember seeing him get beat. I don't know who it was from. And it was his reaction to getting beat that made me... I'm not a fan of him, but I would like to watch him and stuff.
I watch all his fights,
but
I
like
him.
the way he handled his defeat, like the way he went into the fight, selling himself like McGregor. But then when he got beat, he was just
humble, took it on the chin.
He was like, I think even the interviewer tried to sort of make a roundabout excuse for him, and he sort of said, "Nah, I got beat there like that. That's just is what it is. I'm sorry to my family who come out, and I'll get better." And then I think when you see that, you think, "Fucking go on, lad, have a go." Do you know what I mean? Like, get behind them. But moving on from obviously getting beat, is that then what happened?
Can I ask you as well, sorry, when you said your ma come to that, what was the first encounter with your mum like? Was that the first time?
I walked in the venue and she was the first person I seen. Can you imagine that? And it was full of thousands of people.
So you didn't see her before you got to the venue?
No, just walked in and there she was. I was like, wow, come here.
How'd you keep that together, mate?
It was hard,
As a man,
it was hard, like.
Just before you, it's fucking mad, lad.
As soon as I got the loss, I just jumped out the cage and ran in the crowd and hugged me ma. And because you got to raise someone's hand, I was like, get off me, lad. I'm going to see me ma first. Hug me ma and that, and then jump back in, and then he raised his hand then. And probably people were like, is he concussed? But they don't know, do you know what I mean? They don't know what I've been through, lad. And I hadn't seen me ma for fucking 10 years, lad.
So hard to deal with. I know, but just emotionally, I know you're going for a fight and stuff and you've trained and that, but just emotionally, stacking that together is hard, mate. Like,
yeah, it was like.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Probably shouldn't have been that way, lad, for the best performance-wise, but... I don't give a fuck, it is what it is.
But you said then, obviously from your first loss, you were prepared to then
go home.
So
I was actually speaking to my cousin who ended up doing the jail, and that he's the one who always used to be like, lad, come home, hand yourself in, you've done loads now, it weren't you. I'll stand up in court and say you weren't there, you'll beat the case, So I always wanted to go back, but there was always something in the back of my mind that's like, you're not done yet, you've got more to do. Like, as soon as I took that loss, I knew, like, I'm going home now. And I didn't get to make the choice myself because I was still in Belfast. Went in the shop to buy a bottle of water, lad, and police just come in and we're just like, Shaquem,
that night or?
The next morning, first thing in the morning, right by where I was staying. They were just like, Shem Rock, don't move. And I went, ooh, not me that, fella.
Shaquem, don't move.
And he went, alright, mate. And I went, nah, go on then. Lad, you know what? I honestly felt like I could have ran and smoked him. I felt like I could have got away, but I thought...
Was there a biddy that thinks run?
My mate was with me, my mate said, lad, I'll fucking have it with him now when you get off. My mate would have took a charge for me, lad. He's a real one, do you know what I mean? He's a real one.
Do you think you were done with running now?
Yeah. I just said to him, nah, it's cool, bro. Just leave it. I'll just go. I just give him all... This police officer's dumb, like, because I gave him my money, my phones, everything. Like, I think if that was Scouse police, they would have been like, no, this is evidence. And they would have kept me fight purse and I would never have got that back.
No.
Give all my shit to me, mate. And then, fucking just got nicked. Spent 2 days in the Belfast police station. Matrix come and got me. Put me on the back of the plane like this with all civilians. I'm on the back of the plane, lad. I'm kicking this Asian guy in front. I'm like, bro, take a picture of me and put it on your Instagram, lad. And he's like, I can't. I'm like, oh, fuck off, lad. I was like, tag me in it. And the Matrix like, oh, you don't speak to him. I'm like, fuck, speak to who I want, lad. Oh, I'm going to jail anyway, mate. Leave me alone.
You know, you personally, lad, are you, I know you're kind of like laughing and joking about it now, but is there like a sadness in you to think that you've had 10 years there of like creating this new you've had super success, you've made some great people, and now you're fucking sitting at the back of a Ryanair flight fucking handcuffed? I mean, is there a period that's like, oh, fuck me,
Do you
man?
know what? I felt like as soon as I got off the plane and I was in Liverpool, it was like I'd never left. That's what it felt like to me a little bit. And it felt like the switch had been flipped and I'm just that guy again. That's what it felt like a little bit.
Straight back to the character.
That's what it felt like.
That makes me feel sad.
I'm in the back of the Matrix van. The Matrix vans haven't changed. They're exactly the same. The handcuffs are exactly the same. And I'm being fucking arrested by the police, and it just felt like 2013, 2014, Shem. And I just was just like, you know where you're going and you know who's going to be there.
So are you straight then onto remand or into custody?
Straight into remand. I thought I was going to Old Course. They told me I was going to Old Course, and then I landed in Walton.
In the pandemic?
Yeah, years ago when I was young, I went into Old Course for my cousin with like 50 SIM cards, and I got caught with them. Yeah, and they barred me from the jail. So I think that's why I never landed in Old Course and why I landed in Walton. It was probably a blessing in disguise, because Walton probably fucking better than Old Course anyway. Dirtier, grimier, but probably better.
I've only done a talk in Walton, lad, for all the screws, lad.
Horrible. I hate them.
So when you get home then, did they tell you immediately, like, you know, you're looking at this, you're looking at a sentence, you know?
Yeah, every single person I spoke to told me to plead guilty. My legal team were like, so look, straight off the airplane, 2 days in the police station, show up to court, ask for bail, judge laughs at you, whatever, fuck off, you're not getting caught. Plead guilty or not guilty. I said to my legal team, we're pleading guilty. We're pleading not guilty. And they were like, I think we should plead guilty, you know. And I'm like, why? Because if you plead guilty, we can get you a deal. You haven't even asked me, did I do it or didn't I do it? And nah, lad, I'm not pleading guilty, bro. Fuck that. I'm going all the way. This is the way I looked at it. I get the same deal and plead guilty as my cousin, and I'd get 5 years. Maybe I do 2.5 of them on good behaviour, whatever. Get out. My career's done anyway.
Yeah.
I go not guilty and I get 7 to 11 and my career's over anyway. And who knows? I could plead guilty, get a 5, end up in there and end up fucking doing someone in and getting extra time. I don't know, lad. You don't know how things can be in there, lad. So I just thought, fuck this.
Fucking end up choking everyone out in there, that lad.
I just thought, fuck this. I'm running trial. I don't give a fuck. I'm going all the way. And it was mad because we got to the court and me solicitor was like, she wasn't like me prop solicitor, she was just there on the day, she worked for the firm. She was like, Your Honour, we're putting in no plea. And I just looked at her like, I fucking said not guilty. Why are you putting in no plea? Because I've got no paperwork, I don't know anything about the case. And then I'm just thinking, you don't know anything about the case and you just told me to plead guilty back there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, wow, this system is absolutely fucked, mate. So
It's so bad, that lad.
remanded into custody. Fucking, they've given me a court case to come back in 6 months, so I'm going to guarantee do 6 months in jail, and then we're going to go back to court. So obviously landed on the wing, whatever. Fucking one of my boys got me a phone in there, whatever. Boom, I've gone on to me people, rang my manager, spoke to my manager, being like, look lad, look, this is why my manager's a proper real one, you know. Told me manager like everything what I've just told you. And my manager's like, nah, fuck them, I'm getting you a barrister, don't worry, I'll sort it. And he went and got me this woman, lad, Blondell Thompson. She works like doing big cases and that, like fucking murder and shit like that. She doesn't really work with, like, my case is a little case to her. She doesn't really work with them cases. And he went and got her for my case, lad, do you know what I mean? He didn't have to do that, lad. Most managers would have seen your man's gone to jail and
Wash their
went
hands off you.
onto the next star.
Next athlete, yeah.
Who else have I got? He never, lad. He put his own money up for bail. So if I would have got bail, he would have given the money in, and if I would have ran, he would have lost his money. He put his own money up, like, to be fair. Not many people that do that, you know what I mean? Obviously,
not in that game.
You get a second chance at bail. Obviously, mine got denied. Both of them did. The police are horrible, because the police said to the court that I travelled the world on a fake passport. I used my own passport everywhere I went. So they were like, because you travel the world on fake passports, we're not giving you bail because you'll just get a different passport and get off. Because when you get the bail, you give your passport in and you sign on to the police station every day. So they were like, you've got the means to run away, so no, you're not getting bail. So I never got bail. I'd done me six months in jail, and then I come to court, lad. And it's like, I'm in court now and I'm thinking like, what? I'm on the bus on the way to the court. Like, it's mad. You're up late at night reading your deps, reading your shit. And it's like,
what sort of your deps, yeah?
Like, all your deps is like all your paperwork of the witnesses' statements, what evidence the police have got. Lad, I'm reading the deps and it's like, I was never mentioned in any of the statements. But then the witness come back 18 months later and then mentioned my name in a new statement. So that's like me saying, you robbed me. And then 18 months later coming back and saying, actually, you was there as well. And that's when I got mentioned. So I'm like, what? So some days I'd sit there, read it, and I'd be like, lad, I'm going home, me lad, fuck this. But then some days you read it and you read some other shit and you're like, I'm getting
overload of information,
slammed. Because it is a big fucking big, especially when like the police report what they say about you and that, you're thinking, nah, this ain't going well for me, this, mate. And it was, lad, I'm on the bus to court. There's these other lads who are going to court, they're on like a murder trial. And I'm speaking to the lad, and he genuinely never done the murder. Fucking mad. He genuinely never done the murder, but he had the bike that someone was done the thing on afterwards. So he got nicked for it, and prints all over the bike. It was you then, innit? Gun residue, whatever. Mad one. And they've been on like a 3-4 week trial. I'm only on a 2-3 day trial. So they've been there every day for weeks, lad. And I've come into the cells and I'm just like, lad, they're building joints in the court cells, fogging joints, the court screws are coming there like, fuck off, lad, go away. Big passing me joints, and I'm like, lad, my head's gone, I don't want nothing. And they're like, lad, what's up with you, bro? You looking at everyone? I'm like, yeah, lad, I'm looking fucking 7 to 11. And they just looked at each other and started laughing. And I'm like, why, what are you looking at? They're like, yeah, we're looking at like 40 years or something else, bro. And they're only young, they're about 19, bro. And I'm just like, wow. Anyway,
different world.
I've told them me shit and that, you know what I mean? They've told me theirs, I've told them mine, whatever. And they're like, lad, just plead guilty, take a deal. And lad, I'm sitting there now, look, no word of a lie, sitting there listening to them. He's like, lad, you're definitely going to get found guilty. You're definitely going to get found guilty. We are. He's saying, we never done it, but we're going to get found guilty. Welcome to the system, brother. He's like, just plead guilty and get a deal and you'll be out early. And I lad, do you know what? I pressed the buzzer, court screw come, and I went, tell the court screw I want to speak to me solicitor. I was going to change my plea to guilty, bro. Sat back down, and then he's gone. The only thing is, you'll never know what if.
Oh.
And I just went, fucking
last
hell.
thing you need.
Yeah. I went, court screws come back and said, your solicitor's there. I said, tell her to go back up. Fuck it, tell her to go back up. I said, he's right. I'm going to plead guilty now, and for the rest of my life, I'm going to be sitting here going, imagine if I would have ran trial, and I would have been a fucking top MMA fighter, and I would have went to the UFC, where I done my jail, got out, and then nothing ever happened with my life, and I'm fucking working in McDonald's. Nah, not me, bro. I'm going out on my sword, or I'm coming out the other side. So I thought, fuck it. Lad, it was mad. It was mad. So I'm in court now and that. Witnesses there. Witness showed up to court after fucking 10 years, lad. Knowing what he'd done as well, because he was a criminal himself. He was being paid to stash drugs. He was a criminal, and he said that in court. He said everything. He said he was being paid by me Cody. He was a criminal. He said he was in fear for his life. He got relocated to the witness protection. While he was in witness protection, this little scruffy cunt, he ended up burgling a house, and he got kicked out of witness protection. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Ended up landing on the wing in jail, and someone cut him. He ended up getting cut in jail, this guy. So now he's fucking walking around the streets. Police don't protect him no more because he's a criminal, do you know what I mean? And he's standing in court behind the curtain, trying to play the innocent man, like, oh, I'm in fear for my life. I felt like they're going to kill me. And I'm just thinking, what? People don't kill people for weed, lad. Fucking go away, bro. That's what it was, the stash. It was a weed stash. And he's saying all this mad shit and that. And that, it's like he's dumb or something, lad, because it's like the court asks him, my barrister asked him a question, like, how do you know my Cody? And he's like, oh, he's my mate, we were mates for years and that. And they're like, so if he's your mate and you know him, but he's this dangerous guy who you're scared of, why would you do this for him? And he's like, oh, I just wanted some money. And then look, this is where he fucked up. They were like, so you've admitted it, that you were holding drugs for this man. Someone's kicked your door off and entered your house. When someone's kicked your door off and entered the house, they've stole that drugs, and that's why you believed so-and-so was going to kill you. So you went missing, correct? And he went, yeah, correct. This is what finished him. He went, on the night that Mr. Rock and his co-D allegedly entered your flat, how did they enter? Did they have a spare key? Of course me co-D had a spare key, lad. He was a fucking weed stash. And he went, no, he never had a spare key, lad. Okay, he should have, lad. It was probably the right thing to do if he wanted to get me convicted. But this is where he fucked up. He went, did he break entry? No, he never broke in. So how's it a burglary, lad? So how did they enter? And he went, oh, the door was unlocked. And my barrister just went, so you're telling me your door's just being kicked off and your drugs are being stolen and you're scared of these criminal figures who are going to kill you and you're sleeping 3 a.m. with your door unlocked? And he goes, yeah. And look, I just looked at the jury and the jury were just looking at him like, are you a knobhead? Lad. So now my barrister goes, when these people have entered your flat, he's your mate, isn't he? Yeah, we were mates and that. So when he's entered your flat, what type of vibe did he enter on? And he went, just on a chilling vibe, really. Look, I just looked, I'm going home, boys.
Chilling.
He's a fucking sausage. And I think he shot himself in the foot, because, you know, over 10 years, the story's changed.
Yeah.
He doesn't remember, because
he
he did put lies in there, lad. It wasn't a burglary, no one did rob him. He got robbed for fucking the weed he had. It was a bit of a mad one, lad, but I looked at the jury, lad. There was this woman on the jury, the first day, and she's like smiling at me, like, and I'm thinking, is she letting on to me?
Give me the looks, lad.
So I'm just being like, trying to be like, no, be proper, you're in court and that. I had a suit on and that, giving it the fucking I'm a normal civilian vibes. And I'm like, oh shit, is she letting on to me? Lad, you know, on the last day. So, boom, everything's done. Jury are going to give their verdict. They send me down while the jury go out, and then the jury all argue. It's 4 o'clock. I've gone down and the court screws are like, you're coming back tomorrow, you know, mate. And I'm like, no, my day's done. The jury are out now. And they're like, mate, the jury are going to be up there arguing for fucking 2-3 days, mate. You're going to come back and come back and come back, because half of the room are going to say he did it and half of the room are going to say he never done it. They want to come to like a unanimous fucking...
Has it got to be everyone agrees?
Not everyone, but I think it's...
Can be one or
yeah.
two,
So I'm thinking, oh fuck me, I've got to do this again for days, lad. I don't even like wearing a suit. I'm coming in a trackie tomorrow. I'm thinking, fuck this. Lad, they've called me up after 20 minutes. Called me up and I'm like, what's this about? I've come up and they're like, the jury have got a question for you, Mr. Rock. Blah, blah, blah. I can't even remember the question. They've asked me a question. You know, when they've asked me that question, I knew in their mind, for them to ask me a question, there's reasonable doubt. The judge says at the very start, if anyone has any doubt in their mind, you cannot convict this man. You have to be 100% certain that he committed the crime. If you're 99% certain, you have to say not guilty. So I knew when they asked that question, at least half of the room.
What did they ask you?
I can't even remember. It was something dumb.
But there's some doubt.
Something dumb, lad. Something not even that's important. But I knew.
Yeah, there was doubt.
Yeah. So I'll come back down to the courts with them other lads who are on the M charges, like, I'm going home, boys, I reckon. And he's like, yeah, you can't. Lad, within 25-30 minutes, the whole jury unanimous not guilty. Every single one of them.
Wow.
When you get that, and like obviously wrapping up and where you're going, when you get that, is it like fucking hell? That is the
biggest weight lifted off my shoulders.
Is the like
ever.
an emotional thing where you're like, it's gone, like it's gone out of my life.
Mad. I just felt like fucking screaming at the top of my lungs, you little snitch. Nah, I just felt like going mad. My whole family just jumped up like, yeah. All my family were there, like they all started going mad. They're just like, fucking shut up, or whatever he says. And the woman...
Could you walk home out that court that day?
Walked straight out the court, walked straight to JD, threw my suit off, brand new trackie, boom, fresh in Liverpool, just like...
But more to the point, like, how quick after that did you think, obviously now you're not guilty and like you can live your life as a free man? At what point was like, I can go and train and go to where I want to go?
First thing I wanted to do was just go to the gym as soon as I left. It was a weekend, so I just waited till Monday. I literally went home, ate food, went on a run. Waited till Monday and just went straight to the gym, lad, straight to Next Gen.
Had you been training in prison?
Yeah. So when I was in jail, it's a bit mad, lad, yeah. We were only allowed out of our cell half an hour a day.
Because of the pandemic and stuff.
Yeah. And then in that half an hour, you got to do your kiosk, order all your food for the week. You got to get your shower. And if you want to train, you got to train then. They never opened the yard for like 3 months because they were building scaffolding. Scaffolding was long gone, lad. They just fuck with you in there, you know, bro. On the days where it's like open you for gym, they know I want to train, lad, you're on it. So maybe they come to my door and they just go and open the next one. And you're just like, why didn't I get open for gym? Oh, it was full. Do you know what I mean? They just, lad, the power that they have for them, because they are, lad, when you see them, they're all mad little bully victims, lad. Some of them are cool, some of them just do the job. But to me, lad, if you do that job, lad, you haven't got morals, bro, because some of the people in there, lad, are just robbed by the system. Like, I was in there with a guy who got 5 years for selling edibles. He's lost 5 years of his life for selling edibles. And you know what he told me? Do you know why he got 5 years? He got 5 years, and he was a normal university guy. He was on the wing, like, didn't fit in. He wasn't one of the lads. He was out of towner, posh, long hair. He said, I was selling edibles to the lads in university so I could have free weed smoke. And when he went to court, the court said he was marketing his edibles to children because the packages had colourful logos like Starburst and Revels. He's like, lad, I've never sold drugs in my life and I never saved a child. I was just selling it in uni to the uni students. And then there's rapists on the next wing.
That's fucked up.
Who have touched 25 kids and got an 18 months fucking sentence and he's back out. And you know what the difference is? When we get out of jail, we got to go to a hostel, go to probation. But you see them rapists and them nonces, they're in fear for their life and their life's in danger, so they'll get relocated, a new identity and a house immediately. They don't have to go to a bail hostel. Lad, it's fucking disgusting.
The system is broken.
The system is broken, lad, yeah.
But now so now you're in Next Gen on the Monday, you're not guilty, you're a free man, you've got all this experience behind you, and now we're here, obviously present day. Is the ambition, obviously one championship is water under the bridge, but is the ambition UFC?
UFC, 100%.
As a lightweight?
Whew.
What did you say? Did you say featherweight before?
Yeah.
I thought you said you...
No, I'm up now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I thought you said you were staying at lightweight, but look...
I will, but for how long, you know? Like, if I go to the UFC, and a lad, I can't be fighting fucking people the size of fucking Dustin Poirier and that, who are coming in the cage at 86 kilos. Lad, I find it hard to get bigger than 77.
I mean, the ultimate, they do need to plug a few gaps in the UFC.
I wish there was a weight class at 68. It'd be perfect for me, that. It'd be perfect.
Darren Till's got a similar thing, hasn't he? With welterweight and middleweight. But
I think he's a big middle, though. He's not a small middleweight.
No.
But I'm not. I'm a huge lightweight or a small... I'm a huge featherweight or a small lightweight.
Yeah.
Where Darren's like a huge welterweight, a decent sized middleweight.
Yeah.
I haven't got that. If I go up, it's like...
And at that level, it's... you can't give things away.
Can you fuck?
Like not even small margins like that.
Yeah.
You know, training with like the likes of Paddy and all them in there, and Molly and everyone. Did you notice with all the places you've trained all over the world? I mean, did you notice like big differences or like the talent? Or I mean, how was it?
It's a good gym, good standard of guys. I feel like their approach is a little bit different to the approach I was brought up on. Like, there's an MMA gym, so all they do is train MMA.
Rounded.
Where I was taught disciplines individually. So I was taught boxing by itself, I was taught Muay Thai by itself, I was taught wrestling by itself, I was taught jiu-jitsu by itself, and then I'd have it linked together by my MMA coach, so to speak, where they're just going in every day and doing pure MMA.
Yeah.
Maybe in the evening they might do jiu-jitsu, or maybe they might go outside and have their own boxing coach.
Yeah.
But it's predominantly an MMA gym who just focus on MMA, and that's when you see different concepts, because something you do in jiu-jitsu, you might not have the same concept because now there's punches involved, where in jiu-jitsu you don't have to worry about punches. So I can see the different styles, but I'm one of them. I'm a student, I'm a martial artist. I am athletic and I am an athlete, but I'm a martial artist first. I want to one day go on to teach. I want to one day to go on and pass my knowledge on. So I feel like when people come with different concepts, I love picking the brain. Why would you do that? When would you use this? But what about, I like to do this? No, but this is why you shouldn't do that. In MMA you can do this, in jiu-jitsu you can do that, in wrestling you might want to do this. And I love all that, because one day I'm going to have my own students, and you might want to be a pure jiu-jitsu guy, you might want to go on and do MMA. So maybe I can teach us both, but maybe the concepts will slightly change for each sport.
It's like listening to you about MMA is brilliant in itself, but your story's great, and like I just have this overwhelming feeling that you're like someone you needed. Do you know what I mean? Like you're a man who like a kid of you needed. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but now that's my thing. Now that I need to do that for the next generation of people, but it's hard.
I think you're a prime example, lad. I do obviously the motivational speaking, and one of the cheesy lines I kind of say, but it rings so true when listening to your story, is like, you know, you are the company you keep. Do you know what I mean? You are a product of your surroundings, and I feel like the first half of your life you've been unfortunate by, you know, the system for a lot of it has been your surroundings, which has failed you. Probably some of your own choices as well.
No, yeah, I can't.
You know what I mean?
I hold my hands up, lad. No one forced me to do nothing.
But I think the second part of your story, again, it's your surroundings, but it's been positive choices that you've made.
Yeah.
And you just see the fucking difference.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's like everyone in life. Maybe not as extreme as yours, but you know, you are a product of your surroundings, and you've seen the negative side of it, and you've seen the positive side of it.
This is what I try and preach, lad. Like, if you say people who come from the background that we come from, if you were to put them in that environment where they've got to work hard in the gym, lad, some of the shit that you see, like maybe like growing up, some of my mates, the mates were smoking crack in front of them, or they never had a mum or dad, or they were in and out of hostels, or they used to run away from fucking boarding schools and go missing for 10 weeks. Like, if you can do that as a 12-year-old, as a 19-year-old, you can go to the gym and fucking, and it'll be easy for you, lad. As long as you enjoy it, you'll progress go so far in this sport. I think this sport should be pushed on lads who come from the streets, because they'd take so much from it, even if they don't want to do it as a career. It's just mentally, I leave that gym. Some days I show up to the gym and I'm like, and then when I leave I'm like, what was I stressed about, lad? It's gone, forget it.
And it's the stuff like you say with your coach. A lot of people who, you know, I'm from a council estate, you're from Bootle and you're from LA, like
no mentor, no role model.
Like I thankfully did, but I know people who, they never had no one say no. They never had no one say, you're not doing that. Like, you're doing this. Like, and like you said with the push-up stuff, if someone to say to him, like, you're answering to something. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to be responsible for your action in some way. And I think that's what MMA, boxing, and all combat sports, that's the gap it can plug, especially in the younger generation. Because if it's drilled into you at 7, 8, not fighting or, you know, competing, but just the discipline of it, or you know, respecting other people. Before you know it, like when you go to school, you might respect your teacher, or instead of going mental and like launching stuff around the class, you might just go, do you know what, alright, I was in the wrong there, move on. Do you know what I mean? It's just fundamentals that you teach. But mate, just to roll off, I have properly enjoyed this. It's been brilliant.
I have, mate. We've got 4 minutes left on that camera, mate, so next 2 minutes, mate. Title fight, then what's your next fight?
Whew. So I'm fighting August 20th in Camp and Fairness for the title. Then I don't know if we should really say this, but fuck it, I'm fighting September 3rd for another title in Crystal Palace, and then in December hopefully fighting for the 3rd title on FCC. Like, I never like to look past my first fight. Like, I'm fully focused on August. If I take damage in August, I'm not doing September. But if I can come out fresh, I have another little belt on my other shoulder, one on this shoulder, one right.
20th of August, mate.
She'll be there, lad, in the crowd.
Lad, it's mad, you know.
No, mate,
we do sports show on a Friday, mate. We'll have to get you in for one of them, mate. When there's a big UFC card coming on, we can just pull that apart.
Chat major shit and watch fights.
But that's like going on. We want to like eventually watch live events and do reactions and that, and you'd be fucking perfect.
Honestly, lad, it's been so interesting, lads. You've got a cracking story, lads, and it's inspiring what you do now, mate. And I'm made up it's all turned out well for you in the end, lads. So, lads, nice one for listening, everyone, and we see you next week.